have a connection on that one.
I have no ground.
We'll check that one actually live.
I can do a hotspot last resort if that's needed.
So I can do it too. Trying to avoid that. It's going to be super slow.
Yeah.
Are you still doing ice racing up there, or what are you doing?
Wow, there's still a lot of snowmobiling.
I've got okay, before we go live, how many of you are novice riders? This is wonderful, absolutely wonderful. We are doing something, all of you know we're actually doing the webcast, right? So you'll see when they allow me to speak here, which I trust will be a lot, you'll actually see me addressing the folks on the webcast as well. So just so you understand.
So as we're going through this, getting ready to go, I'll pick it up from John. Start off. I'm Charlie Kenny. Nice to meet you guys. One of the chief instructors to the club. And but I was just had a couple of questions. One, we got somebody from Maine. Anybody else outside of like Greater Boston? Anybody come over an hour away? We're all pretty much Boston folks. Naturally, thanks. Yeah, thanks for being here. So, Vernon, Sterling, where are you on? You ready to go?
Picture's a little different than what I expect, but supposedly we're live.
Okay. All right, let's go.
Are we live?
Yeah. So let me introduce John Dunkel, our track chair for the NER region of the Porsche Club.
Perfect. Perfect. Thank you, Charlie, and welcome. And are we live, Sterling?
Trying to confirm. I'm working on it.
We're live, and if you're on the internet, welcome. I do want to start off by thanking the sponsors who are here today. I don't know if you can see this, but a couple of the sponsors. First of all, we are at HMS Motorsport. HMS has been doing this for quite some time, so you're going to hear from them in a little bit. They are a bricks and mortar as well as online. They've been servicing race car and DD crowd for years and years. That's just tape if you're wondering what's going on. Nobody died in that incident. So in any event, I'm John Dunkel, and here we are at HMS. And my other sponsor, I keep forgetting the name of that. What is the name of that? It's Panera. I'm pointing to it here, guys. Panera. All of us, if you're not here with us, you're missing something really good. Bagels, coffee, like it's amazing. So to David, who owns a few Paneras in the area, and your crew, thank you very much. We also have KMC here today. You'll see a. That's okay. You can. Yeah. We have KMC here today. What did you bring?
The Spectral Cayman.
The Spec Cayman, right? Yes, sir. That's fantastic. Keys are in it? Keys are in my pocket. Good. Fantastic. Leave them right there. All right. After the meeting, you all get a test drive around the building. So if you're on the web, sorry. In any event, seriously welcome. I'm going to change things up a little bit and talk because we do have we got anybody watching this live stream? Do we know?
I don't know.
Yes, we do.
Killing me, John.
Poor Sterling. In any event, I do want to flip things around because we do have a lot of folks who are on the internet watching this from sister regions, wondering a little bit about what we're doing with the program. And rather than have them, sit on their lanai in Florida, Tampa, in 77-degree weather, hi, Rich. As a matter of fact, I want to go through some of the program. From my standpoint, you folks sitting here are novice folks on the internet. You are why we do this program, right up front. The NER program is a really big deal, as you're going to find out. We do and will always focus on safety, education, and having fun. And if you go to our events, I've talked to a number of you into our events in the past, and you're like, wow, let's change. It's the fun factor, and it's safety, and it's education. So on that line, we actually, you'll hear each of them We expanded the education piece. Pete Tracy, who you'll hear in a little bit, had the novice development. We expanded Pete's role, and we changed novice development, which is our classrooms on the track, and expanded that supplements to education. So, if you are a green student or a yellow student, which means you're an instructed student, you will have 2 classrooms a day. And if you go into this, at each one of the NER. So we are really focused on the educational component and expanded that, and we have 3 folks doing that. The other thing we've done is we've expanded our instructor development. And this means a lot to you as a novice driver, because those instructor candidates at some point will be in your right seat, or your wife's right seat, or your son's right seat, or daughter's right seat, or friend's right seat. And it's incredibly important that they get the right education. So what we've done this year is we've actually expanded our instructor development corps. It's headed up by Ann Anderson. The background for instructor development is I was CI for another region, and I was concerned about, I don't know, 8 or 9 years ago, were the instructors getting the right training? So we got together with BMW CCA, Audi Club, other PCA regions, and we actually pulled together a phenomenal instructor development program. So for that, now in charge of it for NER is Ann Anderson. Ann is a graduate of the instructor development program. Okay, who got into money. She actually expanded it out and is now including Dave Berman and Jay Tishler. They have different roles, both of them graduates of the instructor development program.
And was instructor of the year last year.
Yes, Ann was great. I mean, she is absolutely phenomenal. So the message here is, who better than to instruct instructors than those that have been through the program? Right? So the message is, we're trying to do that. Another thing we're doing this year, because all of you will have instructors, for those instructors that didn't go through our program previously, we're retraining them or refreshing them. In other words, they haven't been through a formalized program, the ones that we've been using lately. They're great instructors. And by the way, we're going to pull them through and give them the opportunity to go through this program for a full event, all 3 days. We will not have a student except for learn and read and interact with other candidates and instructors that kind of work on all the things we've been teaching all the past 8 or 9 years. So all that comes together too. I'm also going to say this. I do want to go through a little bit of our schedule. These are the last 5 slides in the slide pack. But I just want to kind of whip through real quickly and tell you some of the stuff we're doing. First thing on the schedule is a co-market event with NNJR. We'll talk about the NNJR relationship. It's a co-market event in Lime Rock Park. It's the early part of April. It's kind of shaking the cobwebs out. In talking to Craig, who's the registrar of NNJR yesterday, if you would like to go to that event and have not yet signed up, you need to get signed up ASAP. That event, it looks like, will be sold out. Congratulations, NNJR. One of the things we're doing at that event, this will blow your mind a little bit, so if you're watching on the web, is we've actually pulled together a program with Advanced Motorsports, Lee Carpentier, and a bunch of professional coaches the day before. It will be held the day before our event, the NNJR co-market event, and a select number of drivers will be working with pro coaches from previously Skippy Barber, from Lee Carpentier. These are the folks that actually race and actually train race car drivers. They've set up a skid pad where you're not going to use your equipment. You will be using their Miatas. There's a dedicated skid pad part. And as well, what we're going to do is set up a small autocross course during threshold braking, trail braking, et cetera, You are one-on-one with these instructors, and it's a 6-hour class to shake the cobwebs off. So if you're watching on the web, you're here and you're interested in going to the event, we will send out an email to those that have registered to the event. It will be $400 for that day. It is limited to 18 people, period, okay? The only way we can maintain that one-on-one interaction. But you will learn a tremendous event. It'll shake the cobwebs for that first day of learning. Now I'm going to take that model, and everybody understands what we're doing there. Cool. Here's what we're going to do. We have our season open on novice day at conference. Typically, what we've done this year, we use the assets that we set up a short skate pad, threshold rate, and that's done from the beginning on autocross road. They do a phenomenal job. That gets your appetite wet before you even get on the track. You learn a phenomenal amount. We're going to do something different this year than we think across the last week. Those pro coaches and those Miata skate pad cars will be brought up to Thompson on the second day. You will have access to them, and if you are registered for our event, you pay nothing for that second day to do those pro coaches. If you are a solo driver, you will pay a small amount to help defray expenses. I just want to cover costs. I don't want to make money at it because it's a 2-day now novice event using professional coaches on the back end. So that's something else we are doing for the SEC. The last thing that we are doing is, I mentioned earlier, we are refreshing instructors. I'm sure I put it on memory in a lot of places. Unless you're probably watching now going, I do, I post a lot of them. And there's a reason for that. I gave you something. I'm pretty able to post it right now. When I post up, we're going to retrain instructors. As soon as I put that up, I got a phone call from Northern New Jersey, and this is brilliant. How do we do it? So we share information. As soon as I put that on the internet, we share information back and forth. We set up a team. If you are an NER instructor, if you are an NNJR instructor, you go to either one of the events, you have the opportunity to be retrained and refreshed at those events. As an instructor, you're going to start to take the course. That's something very different than we do. Last thing I'm going to talk about, which you're going to be first here, okay? And where's the cat? The cat's over the top. All of you are familiar with iRacing. They can come on over here. Where do you have to talk to these folks too. Hey, hi. Okay. Where are you from? Plymouth. And you work on anybody? You just hang around?
Yeah, no. So we're with a company called We Are Motion Guys. And what we do is we design and build simulators with virtual reality. And you might have seen us in the magazine or you might have seen us at the bottom, but these things provide a very, very immersive training environment for track driving, for high performance driving. They are not a substitute for actual driving, but more of a training complement to what we've done with the instructors at the HPE program. And we worked with John and his team, and we built a program that will help, I think a lot of you are novices on the webcast and in the room. So it's something that will help you guys get familiarized with what you learn on the track. Think of it as an orientation for the first track day. All of the turns you'll hear, all of the hand signals, all of the vehicle dynamic stuff that you want to get into. And we'd like to invite anybody who's interested to come learn about it. You can go to vrmotionlabs.com, verify it's there, or find me after this event. I'll be around.
Perfect. Don't be taking up all my space here. Okay. So anyway, bottom line is we are going to be taking and introducing with the cat from the top, if you like my command. It is immersive driving. And take that and go put off track, set up sessions, and Sterling's working on the entire DP team is working, and actually take their model and allow you to recreate driver education off the track, off season. So the point here is, when you go to our event, it is about education. You've seen that through the expanded education, the classroom wise. We're doing a lot of different things. So there's a lot to do, and that's Our regular schedule I'm going to throw out right now is part of the slide pack in the end, and then I want to introduce a good friend of mine. But our other events, our Thompson, we just opened our registrations March 1st, Dan?
March 1st. Already have 20-some people confirmed for the Thompson event.
Yeah, we opened up a Thompson event, our Palmer event.
Both Palmer events are also open.
Yeah, it is open. I think we've got, I checked this morning, 30 folks registered there, or something like that. So our events, the point here is our events do fill pretty quickly. And I'm doing this out of my sanity, which is to announce formally the Tremblant event. You can go, not register to, but get a reminder that registration opens March 15th.
And there's at least 30 people already set reminders.
People with reminders set already. Okay, so if you want to come to Tremblant, March 15th at 1 minute into March 15th. Okay, be there. Okay, and you figure out what's going on.
And people do, because we opened the 3 on March 1st at 1 minute past midnight.
Yeah.
The first registration was completed at 2.5 minutes past midnight.
Yeah. So the thing is that being a novice driver, if you want to come to our events, please register. The reason we're doing the webcast is because around the corner, they're not screwing us. We sold this out, and it's been sold out for a month. So we'd love to have you there. Just do your homework, get registered up, and we'll see. Stan is my wing right up front with you. Stan was a contractor before I became a contractor. I couldn't do this without him, or anybody on my DB team. I get to stand up here and look good. They want to do good. So I want to thank my entire DB team. Talk a little. Come on back about one step. Are you throwing me out?
Your head's chopped off.
Oh, my head's chopped off. Oh, that's perfect.
It's not a bad look for you.
We prefer it.
You know something? I am taking so much abuse here, and I can't believe all of you are laughing. All right.
We call it the voice of God.
Okay, listen. All right. This year, Watkins Glen, I want to get into this. Watkins Glen will open April 1st. No fooling, Stan, right? Stan is like, all right. April 1st, Watkins Glen will open. Again, please register early. We are doing this with, make this a short conversation. We're doing this with, because Watkins Glen, the track, changed the NNJR event and scheduled a race on the NNJR Legacy event. So Tom and Janice, Tom Swift, hi Tom, and Janice actually called me and said, can we do anything? Can we do something? Hang on, somebody's putting a piece of data. I feel like I'm in Hollywood, right?
You know you can feel that,
Okay.
right?
In any event, so Watkins Glen, okay, with NNJR this year, we're co-marketing it. They don't call it like come on. So anyway, we are doing that with NNJR this year. And I am pleased to announce for you folks at NNJR, and I'll explain for a minute, is we are doing the Dinosaur Barbecue. Now this Dinosaur Barbecue is Kristen Morrison's problem. Kristen's over here, all right? Actually is the precedent for our entire relationship. So if you want to get registered for Watkins Glen event, be online at April 1st, no fooling, and you will have the opportunity to go to Watkins Glen. And then, right after Watkins Glen, you've got a day vacation, and we're all driving north to Calabogie. Anybody here know Calabogie? Probably not, but we're driving to Calabogie. It's a great track. And if that event is going to keep the attendance very low, for a reason, and the reason is for every driver for 3 days, I would like them to have 4 hours of track time. 4 hours, okay? So that is like 12 hours of track time. If you can drive 12 hours, God love you. I could not last year, but we wanted to purposely keep that event going. Yeah. Any questions? You now have an understanding of how we're going to run Novice Day. It will be a 2-day event, we believe. We're going to run our typical morning, and then the next day, so that you can kind of quantify it as you guys pull it all together. actually have pro coatings here, set up a pro series, and that idea, that concept, will actually continue throughout our season. Does that make sense? Any questions on that? Perfect. With that, but I didn't tell you, because I was saving for that. So I was actually CI for North Country region, which is a tremendous region, just to the north of us.
Do I need a shepherd's crook?
I need the shepherd's crook, because I'm about to step up. Dennis, come on. North Country region has got their own ground school, and they changed things too. Okay? This is Dennis himself. Dennis actually posted on Renlist after he rode with me. I was one of your first. You trashed me really badly. Now, what you don't know is in a week or two, it's Dennis's birthday and he's 65, so Dennis, take it away.
He's a kid.
Sorry, I'm younger than you. You bet I did.
Stand behind the purple line.
Step on the line. Step on the line. That's good.
It's just like on TV. It's exactly the same. Hi folks, my name's Dennis Setup. I'm on the team, this North Country region. We've been kind of a sister club with NER for many years since I started. I was sitting up here about 10 years ago. We are running a, thank you John for allowing me
It's all right. The bill is in the mail.
in April on, that would be April 20 through 24, we're having a 3-day event at the Danvers MA, which is pretty close to everybody. It's an awesome track. We're having a car control clinic, which is similar to the novice day for first timers. In the morning, we'll be up in the parking lot doing skid pad exercise and threshold braking exercise, so you kind of get the feel of these are things the car can't do what you on the track before you get on the track. We'll provide a lunch for you guys, some pizza. We have a garage down in the main garage, one of the base sections off for students, new drivers, novices. And we'll provide pizza down there at lunchtime for you guys. There'll be folks from our club to ask questions. If it might come up, you might want to, just any old questions. Come up, find one of us and ask a question. And then in the afternoon, we're going to provide you with an instructor and take you out on the track for a session. So the instructor will drive the car first couple of laps, show you the line, point out the flaggers to you. Just let you feel comfortable that this is where the car should be at this point in the track, and when it fits, switch off, and for the rest of the session, you guys will drive and pass. And it's a good way to get a taste, just to see what it's like. We have also decided this year we're going to offer a 50% discount. So your first event, you sign up with us to one of our events. The very first event you sign up with us, you get a 50% discount. And we hope to see some of you folks up. Any questions for me? That handout is just kind of a brief outline of what I went through. And there's also the contact information for our registrar. If you go to our website, there's a lot more detailed information about that April event. And it'll also have the rest of our events listed.
That'll be with our own cost, correct?
Pardon me?
That'll be with our own cost, correct?
Yes. Oh, absolutely, sure. We do have 4 events in North Country this year. We have our April event in New Hampshire. We have a June event at Lime Rock, the 25th and 26th. That's a Monday, Tuesday. It's almost impossible to get weekend dates at Lime Rock. And then we're going to be at the new track in Tamworth, up in New Hampshire. It's a fabulous new track. I drove on it last year one day. It's incredible. That's September 7th through 9th. That's a 3-day event. And then in October, on the 6th and 7th, we'll be back in New Hampshire for our season finale. And hopefully we'll see some of you folks there.
I'll be there. I'm at New Hampshire
on the 20th and 21st. Yeah. Anybody else wanted to answer? Anybody else signed up?
All right, folks, I'll be around if you have any questions today. And like I said, most of the information is on this flyer, but all the contact is on the bottom. And please call John Lucier if you have any questions about registration or whatever you might need. Look forward to seeing you here.
Thanks, Dennis. So we're going to kind of get through some of the slide material now. I'm just curious, we talked about a lot of folks that are novices, and I had a few this morning. Again, I'm Charlie Kenny. I'm one of the chief instructors in NER. Thanks for taking the time. And one of the conversations I had, we had a former racer that's going to come out with his Porsche now. Anybody else here that has been on a track before with cars? We have, okay. Any autocrosses? Yeah. Okay. So we have kind of a mixed set of experiences. It's a lot of fun. If you haven't done it before, I mean, for me, it was a bucket list thing. I kind of started my bucket list early. I was about 30 years ago, but I've always I've been doing it for a while. Yeah, I got a big bucket. Well, it's actually a small bucket. There's just a few things in it. And track days are the key for me. 50 days from now, we're going to be out on the track, and it's just great. So I'm glad you guys are taking a look at that and thinking about joining us. Has anybody here ever driven their car in a spirited fashion on the public roads?
No.
What's the problem? What's the problem with driving?
Cops.
Yeah, cops.
Cars.
Other cars, people, bicycles. So really good thing about going to the track is pretty much we're all going in the same direction at the same time. At least that's the intent. There's nothing else out there. And what I found for me personally, with all of the pressures that we have in life, job and family and everything else, and people that are running this country for one, it provides tremendous focus. You can't think about anything else. Okay? If it does enter your mind, the consequences could be a little bit disturbing. So that to me it's a great way to just kind of clear yourself of everything else going on and just think about one thing. And there's very few other things that we do. There's some sports that are like that. There's other activities, but that's one of the main reasons I like to do. So I also wanted to introduce now somebody that's helping us out today, Sterling Vernon, because he's our media guy, and we're going to go through the whole list of the track meeting in a second. But just a little bit on Sterling. His first track day was 2013 at New Hampshire. It rained, it snowed, and it was sunny all in the same day. He's in the process of rebuilding his 944 turbo track car. He had some engine problems at Palmer last year. And he's aspiring to be an instructor to repay the kindness of those that have been shown to him from other PCA instructors. So that's a very nice thing. I wanted to kind of point out Sterling and thank him for everything he's doing with the media piece today. So we're going to go through. We're going to talk about our host today, HMS. We're going to introduce the committee. There's a lot of people it takes to run these events, and being a part of that committee now, I see it's it's like a second job for some of us, but we enjoy it. We enjoy it. We have a CEO. We have a COO. We try to do what we're told to do and ask to do it at the time it's needed.
When do you start that?
Yeah, that's a question. Yeah, some of us fuck the system. Then we're going to have HMS come up and talk about safety equipment. For me personally, hey Ken, how are you? And what's available here. I've been doing business with HMS personally for over 17 years now. So I'm a real big fan of these guys. They really help us out, not just hosting, but you can get what you need here. And then we're going to go through the driver education program itself, the mission, benefits, what's it like to be there and track day, and then just kind of network here and talk about things. So let's make it interactive and make it more interesting. So for me personally, I've known Joe Marco. He runs this place. He's got another facility down in Charlotte. He's actually working with the NASCAR folks down there. is expanded. He's got a core team here. Really, great outfit. You're seeing, a lot of what's available here, but a lot more. They can help you get it in the car. They can help you size it. They can help you size it to the driver. So if you need something, and the service is really, really good. I'd say that's what stands out. You can get, everybody's nodding their head that's been doing this with these guys for a while. So, but the other advice I have personally is forget about how much things cost. Just forget about it. Track days are at the top of the list. Just whatever those car payments are, those house payments, everything else. And also if you need financing, John is available. So forget about the cost, immerse yourself, get the right stuff, get the right gear, and start to have fun. We'd love you to come join us and have fun with that. So, what else do I need to say about HMS? The credentials are there. They're instructors. They're participating. They're sponsoring events. All of those things over the years. And you see the Mini out in the front there. I remember club racing years ago, over a decade ago. I think it's that car. One like it was the pace car for the BMW club racing stuff. It was always fun. It's one of the first Minis I think was even around. And Joe was out there. He used to live up in this area doing the pace car stuff for us. So it was a lot of fun. Please visit HMS online and come here and take advantage of that. So you've met some of us already. This is John Duckle, the track chair. Charlie Kenny, Dick Anderson's the other co-chief instructor. And we talked about with the instructor development program. And it was one of our instructors that just got honored with that Instructor of the Year award. Also here, if you'll raise your hands, we've got Stan Corbin over here as the track chair. We've got Penn Young.
DE Registrar.
DE Registrar, Penn.
Vintage. CI for vintage.
CI for vintage. Kristen Larson. And what's your role in the?
Socials. I get to play parties.
Yeah, she's also she's also an instructor. She's also everybody here pretty much is instructing or training or teaching. So we're all well represented. Mentioned Stan, Justin Becker is our. So we at the track. We're going to hear more about this. Not only do you go through a pre-track inspection of your car, which some of you may be aware of that already, but at the track you're going to do that as well. So we have some people who kind of lead that section of it. That's Justin, and we also, there's an order to what we do, right? So in order for it to flow, because we have sometimes hundreds of people at these events, a lot of cars, a lot of people, a lot of movement. We're out on the track for 20 or 25 minutes. It's hot, but we're lining people up, we're bringing people in. There's just constant movement. You can see the flow of the day, how it works. They're getting probably like 4 sessions a day out there. So there's a control element to it, and Norbert leads that. Another person that's key, he's not sitting in here right now, is Adam Schwartz. Is he out front? So he's here if you want to meet Adam. With Pam and Kristen and Judy, the social part, that's a big part of it, is the social part. We're pretty much friends. We give each other a hard time, but we're having, we're getting along, we're having a good time. We want you to come and be part of that and be part of our extended family here. And so afterwards we'll have a nice social at the end of the day and talk about things. And we encourage that, throughout, because we're going to go drive cars very fast on the track when we're ready, and we're going to be close to each other on the track, and we're going to have to work with each other, right? So when we come in, it's one of the things you'll find is you're going to make friends with the people you're parked near, you're going to make friends with the people in your run group, and with instructors and all that. So there's a lot of social aspects all through the day. I think I've already recognized Sterling, so I'm going to jump here to the next thing. Okay, mission and purpose. You guys can read this. What comes out to me on this, there's a few things, right? The safety, we're going to harp on that. We've got to be safe. We want to have fun, right? And so we talk about, the problems we can run into when we try to do at speed, spirited driving on the public roads. The danger, right? So now we can go to an environment where we can actually, learn how to handle the car. We can learn about vehicle dynamics, and we can do that in a controlled environment. So that's really what it's all about. How do we, teach these skills, learn these skills? Because we're learning from students as well. right? It makes us better drivers to get feedback from you guys and have input. And who knows where where you're going to go on this journey that you're starting to have here, right? But a controlled environment and so on. Vehicle dynamics. I was fortunate earlier in my driving experience to have Vic Elford as an instructor. He kind of summed it up with one word that we're trying to learn there, and that word is balance. So it's student and car and instructor, and we're driving, we're together and out there, we're having fun, and that car is balanced, and we're making it do what we want it to do when we want it to do it. So it's that kind of thing. It all works out. We get that lap, we're on the line, and we've got it down. We're really having a good time. It feels great. So I think I've covered this pretty well at this point. So unless there's any comments or questions on my section here, what I wanted to do is turn it over to a good friend of mine. It's Stan Corbett. A little bit about Stan as he's coming up. He's our current registrar, so Stan does a lot of work to get the events going and get them ready and so on. He's also our safety chair, and he's a core member of the track committee. He ran track operations from 09 to 11. He was the track chair, Don's current role, for 4 or 5 years. He's been an instructor since 2014, and his first event was back in 07. And he figures he's done about 230 track days since then, and he's still learning. So with that, Stan, I'll turn over the next section to you.
Hey, Charlie. So I'm the DE registrar. As you go through the season, if you run events with us, I'm the person that will confirm you for the events. If you have anything going on, for instance, some of you will get certificates for a free day at an event. If you get one of those, I'm the person you communicate with so that you get credit for that. You can do 6 of those. 3 certificates for the folks in attendance here, and then 3 certificates for some of the folks that are online. With the exception that to get this certificate, you must be a novice driver going into our green or yellow run groups, not a person who's already a solo driver. Because the real important part of this is to give folks that little extra impetus to actually come out to the track and do an event with us.
You need to advance it manually. Sit the right program.
Oh, that. All right, so you're going to learn a lot about driving on the track. The first day, it's going to be like drinking out of a fire hose, because you're going to go to class and then go out on the track, and you're going to learn things like the proper line through a corner, the proper point to brake, what turn in, track out means, what apex is. For those of you that have never run into those terms, part of the thing with our instructor development program is no matter what instructor you get during your career driving, we are all pretty much going to use the same terminology. So you won't jump in the car with an instructor today and the person says something like, turn in here. And you go to another event with a different instructor and the person says, move over to the left. We're all going to use the same thing. The braking and shifting cornering techniques, what we will teach you are the basic techniques initially. We're not going to teach you complex things at the beginning. You're going to learn the basic techniques for driving on the track. As you progress, then we will add in the things that make you that much more smooth and that much faster. Actually, when I was a student, one of my instructors asked me what my goal was for the day. And this is something you should have in mind. And I said, to go faster. And he said, no, wrong answer. Well, that's what I'm here for. I said, right. But the goal is to be smoother and to get the line right and all that stuff, because when that happens and the car's balanced and you're smooth and you're driving the right line, you cannot avoid going faster. It's a natural progression. One of the things, some people will get a little bit, stomach upset a little bit, driving at speed on the track. And if you ride with your instructor, it may be a little bit more upset. One of the things that we want you to do as a driver, and if you're having a problem, is get your eyes up, look way down the track. Look at where you're going to be going. When you get your eyes up and you look down the track, your hands are going to take you where you're looking. So this goes back to the thing, if you're on the street and you're skidding or something like that, never look at the thing you don't want to hit. Because if you look at that tree, you're going to hit the tree. You look at where you want to go. Some of the things that we do on track are not intuitive. If you're going through a corner, especially with something like a 911, an older 911, which has that weight behind the rear axle, and you feel the back end of the car stepping out, you don't take your foot off the gas. The mantra for that is don't lift, don't lift, don't lift. You keep the foot on the gas, keep the weight on the road of the car, so that the car skips and goes through the corner. We'll learn a lot about your car's capabilities. The PE program that we run, and I think all the PCA regions and other clubs run, is a self-paced program. You'll advance from green to yellow to blue, which is our more solo group, based on your individual capabilities and how quickly you pick the stuff up. Also, if you don't think you're ready or you're not comfortable with moving up a level, even though your instructor may say, yeah, you're ready, you don't have to move up. You can stay at the level you're at until you're comfortable with moving up. Now, if you stick with it for quite a long time, and you just keep saying, no, I don't think I'm ready, we may urge you strongly to take check rides and move up. And you'll find out after you do that, oh yeah, this is that easy, I didn't realize. I mentioned already, not looking at that tree you don't want to hit on the regular streets. One of the things you'll notice after you do this for a little while is how bad most of the drivers on the roads really are. You'll learn to be observant. You'll find yourself looking ahead on the highway and being able to change lanes or whatever to avoid a situation rather than doing what so many people do, charging down one lane, pulling up, slowing down behind the car in front of them, then looking around and going, oh, can I go around this guy? Oh, okay. Which is that kind of accordion effect you see on the highways a lot. You'll be able to avoid a lot of that because you'll be looking far enough ahead, you'll know what's coming. Anytime you get that kind of knowledge in you and get used to it, you'll be more confident in the driving and the driving will be safer. Right, improved daily driving, I was talking about that. One of the things that we stress, and this is a key item to being advanced from green to yellow to blue and so on, is driver courtesy. When we're out on the track, if there is no passing, unless the car being passed provides a signal to the car behind it that they're clear to pass. Part of our driver courtesy is, even if you have a fast car, that doesn't necessarily mean that somebody in a slower car isn't a faster driver. If they come up behind you, it's common courtesy. You give them a point by at the appropriate places, which you learn. Let them go by, because later on, as you improve, your car really is faster. As you become a better driver, you won't be giving them points. And you may very well catch up to them and get one. Just like in real racing, you get treated like you treat others. If you're a jerk in NASCAR, you may get blocked and crashed. If you're a jerk in PE, you may get a talking to in addition to, but you're not as likely to get a point by from somebody if you refuse to get one. And we have in the past called people in with black flag and chatted with them about their courtesy on the track. You will definitely gain a respect for speed. I know that after I started doing this, before I started doing this, my modus operandi on the streets was to almost never be less than 10 miles over the limit. I find now, partially because I'm scared of some of the people that don't know anything they're doing. I seldom go even 10. Kind of around 5 or something. Unless on a long trip, in which case 10.
Now we're on the internet.
And just gonna say, yeah. Say that again louder.
It's got a number under your face now.
Yeah.
It's a number right there.
No, that's not a number.
Oh, no.
And that's been long enough ago. My record's actually clean. I get it.
Yeah, I've never run a PCA event, but I've done a bunch of BMW events, and
Yeah.
they're tracking all of the DE progress through driving evals.
Yeah.
How does PCA do that?
I'll tell you, that's a great question. Are you gonna get that? I'd love you to answer that. Absolutely. Used to like that topic.
So, in the past, we've made a pass at looking at driving evals. We've done the Club Reg online evals. We've done paper evals. We did a unique solution for a while. Because we partner or we cooperate with BMW CCA, with NER, NCR, and NJR. We're looking at probably going to do things on driving evals. And the primary reason for that is so if you're my student and I get that information, I can go into driving evals and see what your previous instructors have said about it. We're trying to get everything in one place so that we can look at all of this and don't do, for a while we did a lot of it on paper. And I know North Country would hand out, as an instructor, I'd get an index card for my student with their latest evaluation. We want to be able to move that online to make it easy for the instructors to look it up. And also easy for a student to go in to driving evals, for instance, and see what their instructors over the past umpteen times have written about it.
And what you can write about the instructors.
Yeah.
On each of the yeah.
Now, I'm not sure exactly how BMW CCA is using driving evals in its entirety. What we are not going to do is we're not using driving evals for our promotion process. That's still between NER and NCR. That's a unique minimum 2 check rides to get promoted process with paper, because we want a physical representation of that. That's worked well for us up to this point. And just to fill in, if you're a green driver, beginner, moving to novice, which is yellow, your instructor can advance you to yellow. 1 check ride, fill up paperwork, turned in, done. After that, yellow to blue, which is our lowest solo group, to white, to black, to red, or not to red, to white, to black. Those all require a minimum 2 check rides given by instructors with paperwork filled out. And then we consolidate all that stuff at the end of each event, publish a promotion list. As registrar, I take that list. Let's say you signed up for every one of our events in green this year. I'll take that promotion list, I'll go into each future event. I'll check and see if you're registered for it. If you've been promoted, I'll change your registration to that new run group. If it moved from an instructor group to a solo group, which means the fee would be less, you'll get a refund of the difference in the fee. My job has a lot of activity as part of it that isn't done at the track. So we try to get that in so that you don't have to worry about it. That way, you don't have to go, listen, okay, I'm green now, by the time I get to September, I ought to be in blue. Let me register in blue. Can't do it. Register in your current run group. We'll adjust it later.
There's another question.
Another question.
Oh,
It
yeah.
may not be the right time, you can just direct me. I think if we had you over again, we would listen to our pretty much meetings and pricing. And you got a news crowd for the track. That being said, the people who have shown up in the events, how many of them are in, track only cars or track mostly cars versus their brand new 991.2 car?
You're asking a great question. The question is, here I am, I just want to start this thing. Should I go out and buy a dedicated track car and get out there? And the answer is,
Or is my new car okay?
or is my new car okay? And the answer is, I want you to bring your street car, street tires, when you're running. Okay? And there's a reason for it. You are not going to be out there. And one of the things, I'm just going to say this, and now's the time I'm going to hop in and talk about is that as a new person, and I remember just last year when I was green, just like you guys, right? And I was out there with my nose pressed up against the fence going, oh my God, I'm watching the red bunker, oh my God, I'll never get there. Again, it doesn't happen anymore. You are going to be something as a novice. You taught all the right things in your car, your street car. You'll hear talk from these solo drivers about tires and this brand and this brake pad. I want you to have your car checked by a mechanic before the event, and then bring it to the track for a test. They will check that your street tires are good. They'll check that your safety systems are all working. They'll check that in fact all your manuals are. You're going to be on a new car, all the manuals on. That's the way we want you to learn. That's safe, right? If you get addicted like Sting, okay, you will get a dedicated track car at some point in time. You will. But folks, this isn't about learning. This is about education, okay? And in fact, you're actually voicing one of the things I want to talk about. I'll talk about it next. Aside from the 18 days we've had on the track as NER, aside from the 4 events NCR is doing, aside from the, I think they're, NHAR, I can't even remember, I think it's another 20 days, that wasn't enough. We actually introduced this year something called vintage days. What are vintage days? Vintage days are those of us with early 911s, 914s, 356s that remember the days way back when like Charlie started 30 years ago, where DE was taking your street car out and going onto the track having it blast. What vintage days are is bring your vintage car out. It can be a Porsche. If I can classify it to a vintage date, you are more than welcome if you are signed off as solo in a regular DE program. So let's say you started off in your street car and you stole my car. It's a 68 911 now, skinny tires, you know, hold all 2 liters of power right there, baby, right? You can take that to vintage day and run with other drivers just like you, because what's happening in this thing we call DE, I love 993s, 996s, GT3s, GT4s, and I'm the rolling chicane out there, right? I am. Right up front with you. That's not as much fun. So we want those old drivers back who are driving vintage cars have gone left DE because they're fast out there, but the cars are fast. And say, wait, we want a low stress vehicle. So we've got 4 days. First day, and you get on everything. The first day is the day after a regular DE at Thompson. So we've got 4 days at Thompson. It's a regular DE, and then 1 for vintage. And then you go to Palmer, you go back to Thompson, and you go back to Palmer. So, absolutely great question going, what do I need to bring? If you've got an earlier 911, an earlier 914, 924, 924 turbo going down that list, 356, come on out, get signed off, and then join us with vintage days. And that's something that no other region has ever done. And we're doing it. Because it's education. So, great question. Bring your street car, drive it to the event, drive it home after the event, and put the smiles come on right there. Hi.
So, whether you can tell me if this is a better question for later. Street car, street tires.
Yep.
I'm 300 miles away from Thompson.
Yep.
Should I be trailering my car? What should I expect my tires to do? When
That's a great question. For those on the internet, let me repeat the question.
Yeah.
I've got a street car. I have to drive 300 miles, and my trailer. And the right answer is whatever you feel most comfortable with. Your expectation should be you come to an NER event, or an NJR event, or whatever, that I'm going to be driving this car home. That's the environment. Will you have mechanical problems? I don't know.
Well, I'm for tread life, for example. I'm not
Everybody,
worried about
somebody liked that answer a lot.
Don't worry about it.
I'm not worried so much about the mechanical issues. Maybe brake pads, I doubt, but I'm thinking more tread life, like how much do they show up with?
Yeah, that's a great question. Based on tires, when you go get your car checked,
Yeah.
you're going to turn to your mechanic who's checking the car, and they're going to ask you, he or she is going to ask you, how far away is this event?
Yeah.
And if you go 300 miles, then they go, let's see, you're going to have 3 days of track, and we might have an end. Now, I got somebody. What's going on back there? Should I ask? In any event, so here's the thing. For those events that are farther away, okay, I do trailer, even though I drive to the track and the local event. When you go to Mont Tremblant, if you join us this year, or the Calabogie, we actually have relationships with tire stores and race shops at the track. So if you drive up thinking you need another set of tires, you can pre-order, they'll change them out while you're up here. So the answer is, ask your mechanic before, okay? They'll tell you. And then if you start getting down on tire at the event, trust me, we will tell you too, going, if you need to drive back to, Fort Kent, Maine, wherever you're from, we're going to say, yeah, I think you're done for the day, right?
Right.
So, yeah, we'll help you through that.
I mean, can you give me it's probably really hard. So it's in Thompson, I'm there for 3 days, I do a little bit of the stick test stuff. I mean, what can am I going to go through with that?
What's the car?
What kind of car?
New box.
I'm going to say the answer is probably you would be absolutely fine. Absolutely fine. And by the way, I will tell you, at Thompson and at Palmer, we have no tire stores around the corner, so we could probably we're not going to abandon you. How's that? I promise you. Great stories with how we do things is, for example, there are folks that have mechanical problems, right? And Kristen, who's Kristen? Kristen, in fact, we all have trailers, and it's like, oh, sure, their track car is scootable, so they drive home, trailer their partner's car back home. Happens all the time. Don't worry about that yet.
I mean, I have a pickup truck, but I just don't have a trailer.
It's one of those cases. Yeah, one of those cases. I believe you will be fine. With 17, 18 Mach on good tires starting, you're going to be absolutely fine. It's my guess. Doesn't mean I'm going to buy you a set of tires if you need them. You said, John.
Let me jump in, John. My first year, I did a whole year on a set of Michelin Pilot Super Sports, full DE, no problems, full year. So the street tires are pretty durable.
Okay. And I will say, having gone through this, you learn to depend on the kindness of others, because everybody there will loan you a jack stands, fork wrenches, tires, whatever it is. So don't hesitate to ask somebody for help. It's just awesome.
I just want to wrap up vintage. Now that you know vintage days, and Young, who's standing over there right now, he's our lead instructor for vintage, as well as the education person for vintage and NER. So if you have any questions, if you have any suggestions for vintage, there's a reason I chose Penn, and that's because he looks vintage, doesn't he? So it just kind of fit for me. So he and the entire NERD team are doing this, so we hope to see you, if you're watching on the live webcast, hope to see you there as well. Thank you.
So let me wrap up the next couple of slides real quick. The social aspects, we've been talking, we looked at that already, and PCA keeps saying, Porsche keeps saying, it's not just the cars, it's the people. That's where this comes in, because you will make a lot of friends, and this is an opportunity to do a little bench racing, which everybody likes to do. I do want to talk a little bit about what DE is not. DE is not racing. DE is not preparation for racing. If you're coming to a DE event because you've got an AER or a camp car or some other event coming up at that track, and you think you're getting out there for practice, very careful. Drive too aggressively. Pass without point prize, do anything like that, we will kick you out, no refund. Because it is not racing, it's not preparation for racing. We don't record any places. We do allow data collection devices. Those will give you lap times. A lot of us that are using those devices know who is fastest. And announcing or anything like that. But we know who's fastest. There's no awards and no prizes, with the exception that at the end of the year, we have a most improved driver of the year award, and we have an instructor of the year award. And that most improved driver of the year award isn't necessarily the person that's the fastest. It's the person that best demonstrates all of the aspects we're looking at for a DE participant, and the person who's a really good student and may or may not have been promoted once or twice that year. DE driving is not dangerous. It's fun, and it's serious, fun, and safe fun. I've been doing it for a long time, and just to expand on what John was saying, the first 2 years, probably the first 3, I drove all the events, including Watkins Glen, Calabogie, and Montreal up in Canada, on my car's tires, pulling a little trailer with track tires on it. So that got me out of the mode of having to worry about using up my tires, so I couldn't drive that. But the first year, first full year I didn't even have that. Never had any problem. The closest we came to having problems, a buddy of mine wore out the tires on his Boxster at Watkins Glen and couldn't drive back the same time I did because it was raining and worn down to the point where they were basically slicks. So he did the smart thing, he got a motel room and drove back the next day when he was dry. And that's really the solution.
Can I interrupt you for a second? Someone has a silver Lexus that's parked right in front of that bay that we'll have to move real quick, if that's okay.
What kind of car?
Silver Lexus SUV.
Silver Lexus SUV?
Yeah. Yeah. I wish it was mine, but it's not. I'll ask her out. Thank you.
That
Is, are you going to touch on insurance and how many people take it, what it costs?
Oh, yeah, that's a good idea. I'll take a quick minute. I don't think it's in any of the slides. Okay, so the question was, are we going to talk about insurance? I'll talk about that from two points of view. First, the region gets insurance for the event. That insurance is liability insurance and covers if somebody gets hurt, whether in the paddock or wherever. It is not insurance that covers your car. That insurance does not cover damage if you go off track and bend a guardrail. Doesn't cover that. If you bend something on the track bills us and we bill you. And the stick there, and we never had to use it, is if we bill you and you don't pay us, you'll not run with us or probably anybody else who will blackball you for the pay. But we've never had that problem. And some of the bills have been fairly sizable. If you are concerned about your car, if you go on the PCA website, Locked-in Affinity is the HPD insurer that they recommend. They will sell you a single event policy, and it's based on the fact that you're doing an event and the value of the car, basically, and how big a deductible you will pay. The smallest deductible is quite large. Or if you're going to do multiple events, they will sell you a 5, 10, or 15 event policy, I believe it is, or 5, 10, or 12, that's good for a year. So you have to use it up in a year. Needless to say, I buy multiple event policies because I do more than that many events a year. I did not have track insurance for the first 3 years. The likelihood of having an accident on the track that does anything to the car except for maybe bend a piece of sheet metal is very small. We seldom have car accidents. What we see is people will go 2 wheels or 4 wheels off, maybe the rock will crack up the plastic panels for your guards or something, or an independent wheel or something like that. Very, very, very few incidents where there's actually damage. I was quite comfortable, however, as I got faster and drove closer to the edge, I decided, okay, I really don't want to have to pay for the car if it goes faster.
But it is clear that the typical insurance policy that you want for daily driving isn't going to cover the fact.
That is carrier, the question is a, and I'll make this clear,
Right.
is a standard policy cover you? That's carrier specific. Ask your carrier. It is driving education, but it is on the track. It is carrier specific. Ask your agent.
My insurance does cover it, and it's a very finite kind of set of things. And if it's car to car, they don't. But if it's driver training on the track, single car, they do. If anybody wants to know who that is, or more about it, come ask me later. Anything else on this topic?
Just car to car, you mentioned what happens when the car to car issue.
So the waiver, okay, so the question was what happens if this car to car issue? The waiver that you sign when you go to a track event basically says you cover yourself. It doesn't make any difference what the circumstances are. You have no recourse against the other car or the other car's driver in the case of a car-to-car contact on the track. Where you go from that point is kind of up to you and so on. I know of a few cases where there were some very upset people, and there were no cases where anybody either sued or sued successfully to get their car fixed by the end.
So I just want to add on that. I know of at least one case where one driver was clearly at fault, and he understood it, he admitted it, and he covered the damages that he caused to the other car. They were modest-ish, but not insignificant. So, somebody's clearly at fault, people do step up.
So, the comment from Ken is that there are cases, he knows of a case where there was car-to-car contact, the driver clearly at fault, admitted to that, and of his own free will paid for the repair for the other car. It's not something that driver had to do legally. So that's the not dangerous part. It's addictive. I'm here to tell you that. I started in 2007. At the end of the year, got 3 driving days in the last month or so, and since then I've done 20, 25 to 35 days every year. And that fits better now that I'm retired. So it can definitely become addictive. Somebody else is taking over this. Yeah.
Thank you, Stan. Appreciate that. So, Ed Mansing, everybody. Start these DE guys since 09.
The
disembodied voice.
I want to leave. Ed works on the tech line at NER and NCR since 2011. He established the Down East Region DE mentoring program and runs about 20 plus track days a year. Does a lot of other stuff, including a lot of our classroom stuff this coming year. So, go ahead.
Good morning. My fellow track rats have given you a general overview of what DE is. My job is to go to the specifics. So cost, about $195 per day. We encourage you to do 3 days. And I'll go through a list and it'll really explain itself why the 3 days. You've got to make the decision first of all to register. Register online, you'll get an email back saying that you're registered. Now you figure around 14-day window to have your car engaged. And go onto the website and there's a list of garages to use, our recommended garages. We asked the 14 days because if there's something wrong with your car, you're going to have to wait. You don't want to be at that price point where you go to the track tomorrow and you need a new set of rear ends. So give yourself a little breathing room. I think the next point after that is you need to go online and download a tech form. The tech form is very important. It's on our website. You give it to the mechanic that's doing the teching. Make sure you fill it out. I work the tech line at the track. Please sign this form before you get to the track. because it slows everything down. You've got 150 cars on the tech line, you're looking for a pen because you forgot to sign it. So sign that, please. You're going to turn that in at the track. Yes, sir.
What is it? You're skipping over that quickly.
I'm sorry.
What is the pre-event tech inspection?
Well, what it does, you can bring your car for normal inspection. You know, you bring it in every 6 months or whatever. This is track related only. And the tech inspection will happen with, they will check your steering, check the suspension, check your wheels, check your brakes, check the rotors. Look at the outside of the car and make sure it's solid, go under it again, make sure nothing is loose. It's strictly track related.
Per event or per season?
Per event. Oh, yeah. Yes, sir.
Quick question. So again, forever far away, the nearest, down east region of Monroe, the nearest tech inspection place would be is the Porsche dealer in Falmouth, 270 miles away.
Yep.
The other option, and it's not listed on NER as an accepted site, but I assume being a Porsche dealer would be okay.
Yep.
So the question is, are there options of me defining a postal place, and how do I sort that out?
You can go to Augusta, right outside Augusta. Dude, what's this Aaron's shop?
Where are you?
No,
he's at the end of the world.
He's still pretty far away.
There is somebody in Bangor.
Okay.
And if you give me your email address, I'll get you the name of it.
Okay.
Yeah. We have to have the inspector who's doing it have a stamp. That stamps the tech sheet. If you go to the dealer needs to put that stamp on it, so we know it's a dealer inspector.
Okay.
Yes.
You mentioned it was per event, and you said a 14-day window. Does that mean it has to be within 14 days of the event?
It should be, yes, absolutely. Also, we're asking you, has your brake fluid been changed within a year? And most of us don't change our brake fluid. So we're very cognizant of the issues that can happen with brake fluid, especially over here. So we want that 14-day window to say, okay, my brake fluid is fresh going on to the track. Yes?
So I'm assuming then that this list of vendors is on the website someplace?
Yeah, it's on the Northeast.
And also a copy of this form, in other words,
it's on the
nice
site.
to know before I go to this.
Absolutely.
What exactly is he requiring of me?
I think that's good.
You know?
Yeah, you should print the form and bring it yourself to the person who's
And
doing
that
the
form has
inspection.
a detailed list of the things he's going to be checking.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a
Just
checklist.
download it. It's 2 sides. Just download the entire sheet. Take a look at it.
It's on the
It's on the
NER
DE
website.
section of the Northeast website.
Because the Northeast website only lists one official tech inspection place in Maine, and
Yeah,
all
but-
of them are around Augusta. So.
You know, there's enough flexibility in that, knowing where you're coming from.
Let me, if you've got a question with that,
Yeah.
talk to Stan, because we actually just got an inquiry from somebody else in Maine. And he will let you know if it's a Porsche dealer or a recognized dealer.
Okay.
He'll probably punch in that direction. We don't want to preclude you and have to drive 16 miles to go, or 60 miles to go get a tech inspection. We will make it easy. We will make it easy.
That'd be great.
It's going to drive 50 miles from Hill.
Another quick question. My understanding, you also need a fire extinguisher in your car. Is that
No, that is not. It is recommended a fire extinguisher in your car. It's recommended, not required. It's also not required this year, from what I understand. From the North Country region. That's correct. It is recommended.
Is there an additional fee for the tech inspection?
Yes. Yes.
That's all.
And we can't tell you what it is because it varies.
Right, I understand.
You will find some shops will comp you a tech inspection. No problem with that. Those are the old line dealers and friends of, and there's some newer shops that do charge per hour. They'll let you know there's usually deeply discounted rates.
Okay. It's generally one, so once you've got it done once, it's going to be an hour probably charge. Doing it again. Yeah, it's usually about an hour if everything's okay.
But make sure you get that tech sheet signed. We will not allow you on track unless it's very important. Day of the event, you're going to get all the information from Stan. multi-page document, and it's going to give you everything you need to get to the track and what you're going to do when you get on the track. So first thing is get to the track. Probably one of the hardest things to do is make a decision to do this. Second of all, drive to the track. We want you there no later than 7 o'clock. Most of our tracks open at 7. You should be online to get into the gate at 7 o'clock. Because you're going to have 100, 150, maybe 200 cars. It gets a little bogged down. So when you get to the entrance of the track, you're going to sign your first waiver, which is a track waiver. And you gotta get it on there. Go in further into the track. Once you're in there, you're going to try and find a stand to register and get your second arm. You're going to sign the PCA waiver. After that, you're going to find a spot, a very comfortable spot for you. You're going to unload everything in your car that should be in there. You're going to unload what's in the trunk. You can take out your radar detectors, your phones, floor mats, anything that's loose that can rattle around while you're on the track. After that happens, put your numbers on, and then go on to the safety box, which can be quite long. If you get there early enough, it's very quick. Yes, sir.
You just mentioned numbers, that's a requirement. Are you somewhere along this presentation, you're going to go through what are the required things I have to add? Or am I would appreciate it.
Let me handle that one. You're asking a great question. I remember being you exactly going, I have no idea what I'm doing. Okay? And the answer is yes. You will have a detailed list. If you, like I said, make a decision that you want to come, here's what's going to happen, right? Even before you get to the track, is you'll go to the website and there's a list of things. There's so much information on the website for new folks. Take that angst and fear out of it. You asked about numbers specifically. Yes. Every car on the track has numbers. When you register, you can pick a number if it hasn't been already allocated to somebody else, or reassign you a primary. And there are actually specifications for how big the number has to be in the plate. But in all the information you'll see on that, and on the website, it goes through a little tick list. Like even to the point, don't forget water, don't forget this, don't forget that. What to expect. Like I remember when I did my first DE, we actually had to flag the corners, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, and it was a great experience back then. But it was all on the website, and it was actually mailed because we didn't have websites back then. Not done that old. But it was actually mailed that you would get a checklist of things to bring. The second thing, anybody on this DE committee, any instructor, you ask them. And if they don't give you an answer and kind of take you by the shoulder and go, here's what you need, then we're doing something wrong because you have the ability to do that too. If it doesn't happen, just call me. All right?
There, Bob.
Okay. This is exactly. Exactly. So does that make sense? You will have so much information, and if you feel uncomfortable with anything, you just call us.
I remember for the first time I tracked Yada in New Hampshire.
Yep.
I mean, somebody said, "Oh, by the way, you need a $400 plug helmet." I was like, "What?"
Yeah.
You know, and that was like 2 days before I had to show up.
Right.
And
so you came to HMS, watch your helmet.
I couldn't find. No, I don't.
Yeah.
I didn't never heard of it. I had to find a dealer or somebody to do that. Have it overnight shipped.
Yeah.
So what I don't want it in. What number do I sign myself?
You will have a selection.
What if I show up with numbers that somebody else has?
Don't worry. We will take care of you.
Let me interject too.
Yeah.
I'll give you my name, my number, my email, and if you have questions before any of this, just come to me, and I'll walk you through it. Happy to do it. Okay. And there's others that here too that do the same thing. So we will get you all set up so you're ready to go.
The other thing we do is NER, which no other region does. None. Is we have an online online drivers meeting pack. In that pack, when you get to the track, you will know the passing zone, you will know the paddock traffic, you will know the flagging, you will know. We're the only one, because nobody wants to listen to you for 45 minutes standing up in the morning, in the paddock, when it's raining, go on about nonsense. So, we have online driver meetings back. We have a mandatory driver meeting in the morning for all drivers. Like, we have all that.
My concern is, I don't want to show up without a car.
You would be good.
Okay.
Yeah, on that, I'm new to the program, new to driving, and so to address, I think, some of the issues he's bringing up, which I think are very valid.
Yeah.
If you're trying to figure out what you need to buy, what you need to have, what the process is, just from my personal experience, I use a shop that deals with track days, so they work on my car, they cut my car, they know what needs to be done on it.
Yeah.
From PPE, personal protective equipment. I came down, I looked at the website, it's all listed on the website of what you need. I came down here, I talked to them about a helmet that I need. So I purchased a helmet, I purchased a set of gloves, they recommended certain things. You need to look at, clothing, natural fiber resistant, fire resistant materials, possibly design. But all that's listed, so there's a lot of research that you can do before you get to the point where you show up and with your car of the line. Like I spend months looking at everything I need, talking to the mechanic and checking everything to make sure I'm all set before I jump in.
Right. This is, and what you're bringing up here is exactly why we're doing this here at HMS. Because if you need to know, what do I need for gloves? What do I recommend for clothes? What do you recommend for helmets? What do I need? It's mandatory. What do you recommend? For the folks here at brick and mortar thing, I'm very familiar with the internet, right? As a few of you know. Online is great, but when you're just starting out, use the sales and the knowledge base.
You can't wait till the last minute to check. It takes for me, it took a month to just go through the process, do the research, talk to people to know what you need. I foolishly probably bought the fire extinguisher, which I think is a good investment.
Yeah.
But it's not required, but I bought it, I mounted it, it's all set, I don't have to worry about it. But it's not a requirement, but
It's a personal choice at that point.
Right.
We don't require driving gloves, right? But if you feel more comfortable, then do it.
Right, and you talk to them about the reason why, the color on the glove, it's helpful.
Exactly.
So they were HMS was great about giving me some good advice and not spending a fortune either. Entry level, it's a good product, but I was able to make some good purchases through that.
Thanks, man. I appreciate that.
Can I shoot my wife's car at the meeting?
Yeah, absolutely. Are you going to talk about your course? Absolutely. Perfect.
Gone through the safety tech line. You can take a couple breaths. Then we have a general drivers meeting. John's going to champion that.
Short, briefly.
Well, we think briefly. We keep it down to 15 to 20 minutes, hopefully.
Usually it's 15.
Yeah, it was good. And after that, you're going to go into another drivers meeting, the green, yellow, one group drivers meeting. It should be about 30 minutes. And what we're going to do is we're going to go over the track map, passing zones, man signals, flagging stations, different flags, kind of get you comfortable before you go on the track. In the interim, hopefully you would have heard from your instructor during that 14-day period. You will have heard from your instructor within that 14-day period. After my meeting, which is that green-yellow meeting, you'll probably meet up with your instructor before you go on the track. Learn certain things, nice face-to-face, and you're going to take 2 more runs. It's starting to build up. You're starting to get this sense of, there's a lot in my head that I haven't gotten on the track yet. That's great, because we need that edge starting to build. So you're going to sit with your instructor in your car, and your instructor's going to ask you, can I drive your car for a couple of laps? Let it go. Please. It's going to give you a little more information being in the passenger seat. You're going to see where the turns are, you're going to see where the flagging stations are. Kind of get a little more comfort going around the track. And it's going to change a little bit on the track. 4 runs a day, between 20 and 30 minutes each, depending on the venue that we're doing. There's a lunch break between number 2 and number 3 runs. There's going to be 1 more meeting in the afternoon before your last run for the green and yellow run groups. You can relax after that run. If there's anything left in you, there's a social at the end of the day. 5 o'clock, the track closes, and there's a social. Try and be there. During the day, you've been walking around, talking to people. You kind of get a sense who else is there. There are a lot of nice people. And it's nice to touch base with them after the event. You can also sit and talk with your instructor if you have any more questions. That's day one. And I guarantee you, you will be exhausted and you'll fall asleep at 7 o'clock that evening. But you're going to feel really good. Day two makes it easier because some of the things you don't have to do again. We're going to get John down from 15 minutes to 12 minutes, if we hope. You're still going to have the green-yellow meetings. You've got a relationship established with your instructor. That's great. You're kind of feeling a little better on the track. You're actually turning in when you say turn here. You're getting closer to that apex cone, and you're tracking out. You're starting to really unwind that wheel. You're really feeling good about yourself. Day three is the kicker. The light goes on. Everything comes together. All of a sudden, you're feeling really good. I always equate DE with speed. You get once you're on the track for a little bit, you get a rhythm going. Just like downhill skiing, you're really feeling good going around those. You're carving those turns. You're carving turns all the time. It's exactly the same thing. Feeling good. You're not gripping the wheel like you grip a death. You're loosening it up a little bit. That's why you need to do these 3 days. 1 is nice, 2 is good, 3 is really good. Because you're really going to come off that track feeling good about yourself. And you're going to look and say, when's the next one? That's what this is all about. Continuing the relationship with the people you met. Any questions on nuts and bolts?
It sounded like for a few, like one in like April, one in May, the first event of the season, there was some additional kind of instruction around novices.
Yes.
Yes,
Any
there is.
particular kind of, for first experience, any particular recommendation on, events?
Yeah, I'll talk that through. For an NER standpoint, the question is, for my first event, let me see if I can condense what you said.
Sure.
For my first event, any recommendations? And the answer is yes. Okay. NCR does a dynamite event, car control. That happens in April, I believe it is, the end of April. Check their calendar. They've got a car control clinic, from what I understand, which expands it and melts a car control clinic to the actual event, which I believe is the first time. I was CI for it, so way back. But car control always happened before any track event. This year, great decision to join the cheer. That's what we've been doing as NER, which is late May, Memorial Day. We've got a 3-day event. The first day is, are we watching this here? Yeah. In any event, we've got a 3-day event. What we're doing differently is taking our same model and saying, okay, we're going to do the car control clinic, which we've always done that morning while you're on the track. And what we're doing differently this year is actually that novice event is a 2-day. Because it's good to throw something in the phone and kind of go, whoopee, this is fun. But unless they can get back into that same environment at the next day with a professional coach, all you got is that whoopee factor. It doesn't mean anything. No way to quantify it. Learning is a process, right? Okay. So what we're doing is we're saying, tell you what, let's do this, and then let's do this. So when you go to the speed pad the second day, you can go, I got it. I get it. Okay? And we're going to continue to do that throughout our season rather than at first event time. So you've got an array. You can go to NNJR, for example. They've got a different ground school. They run a ground school like this. And then they have their own program for car control and novice. So pick a program, go, that's what fits for me. Okay?
John, you have a question here?
My name is Jeff Thornton, the president of NCR, and Bill Seymour and I, he's the president of NER, have talked over the course of the last 6 months, and his perspective is that New Hampshire Motorsports track is a great track for beginners. It's a slower track, and it's there's not a lot of passing going on, so that if you're a new student, with respect to John, and he knows the track as well, that you may consider coming to New Hampshire Motorsports for our event first of the season.
Okay, that means your question. Perfect.
You need to do a little homework, to be really honest, on what event you want to be as your first one. Next section, who can participate? You need to be 18 years or older and have a valid driver's license. Now let me say something about that. There are a couple of events every year that somebody will come to with their driver's license that's expired for 3 months. Please check your driver's license before you leave your house going to the track, because they're not going to let you on the track. So you have to take a little responsibility on that end of it. A current member of PCA, preferred, but you can also be a member of an organized car club, like BMW Club, Audi Club. We have 2 slots available, one for Ferrari and one for McLaren. That's it. You have one of those cars registered early, otherwise I'm not letting you on the check. I'm tired of being passed on. That's not that happen.
Can I expand on that?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so recognized car club. Our definition of a recognized car club is they charge membership dues and they give you a membership card with a membership number and an expiration date on it. That's all. Okay.
Now, 2 drivers can share a car. This is for everyone. What we do at NER is both drivers get full track time. We're just going to put one in green, one in yellow. So you're not compromising that, which I think is terrific. Next slide. What can you drive? Hopefully you're going to bring your Porsche Club. Northeast and North Country allow other cars to go on the track. If you're going to another car event, you need to check first. There are some of them that just allow Porsche. So please check before you go. You don't want to be on the way, get there, and realize, sorry, you don't accept your car. Now, this I'm going to need help with. Convertibles and cabriolets. If you have a Porsche installed rollover protection in your car, in your cabriolet and convertible, perfect. There are some models that don't have it, and you may have to install either a roll bar or a cage if you run continue on. Check this before you even register. John, do you want to talk about the different models?
No,
some
no,
are
real briefly, not defer to Stan, but real briefly, if you've got a cab or convertible with rollover protection, you are fine. There are certain model years at the beginning of 2000, ending 1999, 1998, did not have automatic pop-up protection, did not have permanent rollover protection. In those cases, typically we will exclude you because the trucks require rollover protection. Okay? If you have rollover protection, there's something called the broomstick rule, and it means your head, if I lay a broomstick across the windshield A-frame and that rollover protection, your head and helmet must be below that broomstick line. Okay? If you run any of those cars, contact Stan, myself, Charlie, Ed, we'll get you squared away.
Justin Becker.
And what's that?
Justin Becker is our chief scrutineer.
Chief scrutineer now. Contact him, whoever. Somebody in the DE committee will get the answers for you. All right?
Yes.
Yes,
Yep.
Lime Rock does. Lime Rock does. Lime Rock is very restrictive.
It's on their website.
It is on their
Yeah.
website. It's also on the NNJR website because we're doing Lime Rock for them. Any questions, you can, again, you can do the NNJR event, contact me, I'll get you squared away, etc., etc. All right, question?
I have previous experience tracking the road crossing with Miata for 15 years.
Yep.
And you always had to have fiberglass hardtop
Question according to your definition of car club, it sounds like AAA membership.
So, is my 981?
They're not a car club. They do.
Yeah.
Where is it again?
Yeah,
Boxster 981.
He's worried about, do I need a hard top in place? The answer is no, I don't need a hard top in place. That New Hampshire was your question. I still need the rollover protection, which you've got, okay? Roll bar?
Yeah, I know, but my question to you is the 981...
It's
Absolutely fine.
wasn't it a 2013 model you had?
Yeah.
It's got built-in rollover
Yeah, it
protection,
does.
pretty confident.
Well, I thought it did too, but you guys did very specific about what you want.
And I'm telling you, you're fine. How's that?
All right.
Is that specific? There you go.
John?
Any other questions?
So the only issue with the pop-up rollover protection,
Yeah.
the issue with pop-up rollover protection is not all tracks will accept that. Some of the tracks want permanently installed rollover protection. So if you're driving a late model Porsche Cabriolet or Boxster, which has something that has pop-up, Lime Rock will accept it. Lime Rock wants a permanent rollover protection. look at Lime Rock's website for their specific requirements and make sure it meets it. All of our tech inspection stations, you mentioned those, right? All of our tech inspection stations should be familiar with the requirements. If you have a cab and they have any question, they know who to contact to see if it's okay. We have, and the reason we're talking this is we have had occasions, last one was maybe 4 years ago, where somebody showed up with a cab, an older cab, with no rollover protection, and we couldn't let him on the track. So we refunded the money, he stayed at the event, he rode in green with his instructor, so he learned a lot, and he, for the next event, he got rollover protection installed. But I'm sure he was extremely disappointed that he didn't get to drive his car on the track. So we're trying to make sure that doesn't happen again.
My last issue is going to be noise control levels. Many tracks have noise limits. Canadian tracks in particular are very tight, very tough on noise, and so is Limo. If you have stock exhaust, it probably will be just fine. If any of you have modified your exhaust, please have it checked to make sure your dB levels are correct.
Yeah, what they do on that real quick, and I'll introduce HMS, is they put a decibel reader at some point on the track where you're going to be like a full stroke in fourth gear or something. They're usually 50 feet off the track, and they measure it, and they can black flag it. You can go try to lower it somehow. And one way is to let off the gas as you go past that point. It works. It works, right? But they will take you off the track if you violate that issue. So we can talk more about that if you want. So we want to get the guys from HMS to come up and talk for a few minutes.
I won't interrupt you again.
Yeah. All right. So, let's go, everybody.
Hey.
I'm Brady with HMS.
I'm Mark. I probably talked to both of us a few times.
Yes.
Over the years.
Pick up a lot of phone calls
Very
here.
familiar faces, new faces.
Yeah, you're on now.
He's better looking. So yeah, a lot of good questions you guys have asked. I've seen definitely a good discussion going on. Where do we want to start?
I think we'll start with the basics. You know, we're training this with really with any driver. You're going to have a progression of safety, starting with the basics, a helmet, and really working your way up from there. And you'll see some pretty incredible examples of you know, roll cages, all sorts of fancy harnesses, Honda devices. There, you know, you can get there, but a helmet is really all you need to start. We can grab, actually, I'll grab one of these if I can. Here's an example. All right, so this would be an example. This is made by a brand called HJC. Excellent helmet. Price point on something like this or many other similar helmets on the market is around $250 to $300, $350 in that price range. So not too crazy. You're going to need this to get on track. And I guess we'll talk a little bit about helmet certifications. Question? Yeah.
It does the non-closed helmet.
Open face helmet.
Open face,
Great
like the one that's up there on the shelf. I have one of those,
yep.
And that is very hot, very heavy, in very tight turns, and a lot of slalom trying to think back and forth like this, because the helmet weighs about 5 pounds, and on your neck, it can give you the equivalent of a football player gets when he gets hit. So I thought about trying to get one of the open face ones that are lighter.
Sure. I defer to John. What's the policy on open face helmets? It differs from club to track. It really can vary. That's a great question.
Okay, so NER and NCR's policy for helmets has to be snow certified for the last or the previous certification. So a 2010 certification and a 2015 certification is good. NER and NCR, I'm pretty sure,
yes.
We allow both closed and open face helmets. We allow the SAs and the motorcycle rated ones. We recommend the SA because fire protection is better. Not all PCA regions even will allow an open face helmet. So if you're thinking, okay, I'm gonna get a 2015 helmet that's good till 2025, and after the first couple of years, I'm gonna be looking to go and run DE events with other PCA regions or other clubs, and you buy an open face, you may end up buying another helmet because not everybody's accepted. We recommend a closed face. We do not require a closed face.
It's your head. It's your head. It's your head. There is an awful lot of protection that this front chin guard can give you. That's something to think about. It really is. It can feel a little overwhelming at first. You're less visibility. You'll get used to it. There are folks that will run an open face. They like that, and that's fine as well. But like he said, if you're planning to maybe drive, you're not sure what track or club you might be with at times, this will never fail you, whereas an open face.
I think to that point also, as far as weight, a lighter weight full face helmet does exist on the market in a lot of options. The weight that you would save from an open face entry-level helmet would not necessarily be advantageous for the safety that you would have.
I mean, tell you why this is so important, maybe for first-time helmet buyers. The weight of the helmet. I was with Nancy, for example. When you go off the oval and onto the motorcycle section, the turns are so tight that your head is thrown to the left and the next time to the right. You can end up with motion sickness or the symptoms of not vertigo. It's the symptoms of being hit like a football game. Where you get a little, you have this motion sickness feeling, and it's related to the helmet. If the helmet is heavy and it's not like Formula One guys and everybody else that have these systems that keep their head in a certain place because the G-forces are so strong that it would cause them cognitive damage.
Right.
To the head.
And that's where carbon fiber that Mark has here. That's where extra money can get you. You then can get protection that is ideal.
This helmet is about a pound lighter than that, which may be a little bit. So the grand scheme doesn't seem like much, but the heavy option is about 4 pounds.
Yeah. And when you apply multiple G's to the corner.
Ultimately, if that's a concern, you may have to explore a lighter option helmet. The SA requirement can be met with a $300 price point.
What's SA stand for?
Automotive. So we'll talk about that's motorcycles. Let's talk quick about the Snell racing.
Mostly an SA rated helmet would be a full face helmet. So there are open face options where we work pretty much the same. Everhard chin strap is a requirement to that. SA 2015 requires a Honda insert. There will be no next alignment required RNC, and then it is a drop test. So the difference, especially between an SA helmet and an A-rated, would be multiple hood surface impact. Automotive helmet, they anticipate you probably have one connector and maybe 2 with the roll bar at the worst case scenario. A car or a motorcycle, they anticipate you would hit the ground once. Most of you may know that I'm the resident HMS Motorcycle guy. Everyone always asks why I do such unsafe things in the business of safety, and understand the risk. But my helmet will hit the ground more than once. You guys don't really have to worry about that too much. But I guess ultimately, this helmet would be the same SA requirement as this one. This one would take it to the next level because of the weight.
What's the price difference between those two?
It's about $1,600.
And when you're holding?
This is a $1,900. Yeah. So in the sake of concerns of weight, there will be an increase in cost. Always.
Yeah, let's talk about the $2,000 helmet though. 10-year helmet, $200 a year. Do you go to Starbucks? You buy coffee every day, Dunkin's, whatever that thing is you buy every day. You buy 365 days, buy $200, whatever. It's your head.
And you can get it even
It's about 20 minutes in a neuro ICU unit.
There you go.
And even for $1,000,
There
you
you
get a
go.
phenomenal helmet. That's,
As HMS Motorsport too, we've kind of steal them for years. We've got about 25 NASCAR Cup drivers that actually pay risk for this exact helmet. From the top, Al Busch, any of those guys, Joe Giordano. We do seatbelts for sure for all of those guys too. So for that type of a helmet, that's literally what the pros are using every Sunday. So I think that speaks for itself in a lot of ways. But again, there's a gamut. I think I heard, we're here to offer the top end to the professional driver and the bottom entry level to everybody else. In the range of that, there's concessions that get made on all fronts. It's not necessarily you get what you pay for type of an industry, but I think with a lot of things these days, it is. So you can get into it for $300, you'll make the requirements, but there'll be concessions of weight, fitment, longevity, quality, all those types of things. As with anything, gloves, shoes, your car. There's Porsche and there's Hyundai, and they'll never be the same. So there's everything in between.
The Snell is a good product. Right. The dating thing, real quick. That's you might have some questions. So there's Snell is the certification sort of body that rates helmets. They come up with a new standard every 5 years. So the last one was 2015, and as Stan said, they also will accept the 2010 helmet. The rating of a helmet, so the lifetime of it, is 10 years from its date. So 2010 is good through the end of 2020, 2015, 2025, and so on. So that's just important to understanding the window of use you get out of one of these. And probably the last thing would be, if you're just looking to go to the track and you don't need all the accessories, integrated communications, things like that. This is a great option. Where you really get into integrated comms, for example, things like that, where your instructor can just talk directly into your ear versus having to use a headset. That's where these have a huge advantage. Like Mark said, this is sort of the Ferrari of helmets. It's a great option, but don't think that you must go get something this good right away. This will be perfectly safe.
You meant the Porsche helmets, right?
No, there is. Excuse me. I'm sorry. GT3 helmets.
Question in the back?
Yeah, it's see, you got glasses. We've got a couple other optically challenged people here. Do you wear just your regular glasses underneath?
I do. No, where I found customers struggle though is if you have the type that are hooked on the piece here, that can be a challenge. So the ones that are
wire frame.
Yeah, where you can just slide it right back. You almost find that your glasses are almost like floating in the helmet because the pressure from the pads just sort of holds it suspended. But yes, it's with most of these, the eye port is big enough. This whole opening, you can just slide them right.
It would depend on the helmet and then the glasses themselves. But like this particular helmet is actually sort of this is a remold of the Stilo SC4, which is their previous mold. The eye port is very small, and the cheek pads are very tight. So you're limited because that is the extent of the visor's opening. So again, it's helmet and it's glasses.
So I had like the floating glasses.
Yeah.
You get physically running sport faster.
Yeah. Well, in terms of like
yours, it's got a thicker, thicker cord. Yeah, something stronger that can get in there.
But it is, that's a great question. A lot of glasses.
They can be worn with glasses, depending.
This moving. Oh, any other questions? Yes, please.
The helmet's got visors or one up down.
Great question, Stan. For you there.
So you're not required to have the visor on the helmet. If you have it on the helmet, down. If you leave it up and you get into something happens, the airbag goes up, attaches the visor, and push your head back to vinyl. So the answer is, if it don't have to have the visor on the helmet, but if it's on the helmet, it needs to be down. I take mine off because I like a little bit of cooling airflow and I don't have a helmet anymore.
Yeah, right. You get that little.
I guess if you find yourself wanting to run with it up, then just
Yeah, and a lot of you might find, if it's a hot, sunny day, sunglasses. Same thing with glasses. Sunglasses can interchange and work quite well with the visor off, for example.
In a DE scenario, without a visor and an Indian closed car, running it without a visor, it's not that you need wind protection. There's very low likelihood of debris, so you may find that to be better.
I guess just moving to some other equipment.
Hang
On this, I'm sorry.
You two guys need to stand close to each other for a moment. So if there's one thing, you can order dang near everything in the world online, except a helmet.
That's it.
Because your head looks like a pumpkin. No extra charge.
Don't worry, I have a thick skin.
And your head is an oak.
Yeah.
And for those who have never bought helmets before, you must try on
Great point.
because probably a lot of your discomfort has to do with your helmet doesn't fit you.
No, I went through many bags and, returning
That's
it
where,
to larger.
the Amazon effect has protected us largely and things like that.
I would say that we see the majority of folks come here with the idea of size, and that size is typically or that
And between brands, large is not large is not large.
And no one that would come here has a big head to us. I mean, the large. My dad wears a 4XL. You can't even buy that in an estimated rating. So, I love him to death. But if you come here and you think you're swear you're a medium and you think you're an extra large, you're an extra large, and that's fine. But it's better to just know, because every brand is a little different, every helmet is a little different. Again, back to some of the advantages of a more expensive helmet. These types of helmets come in small, medium, large,
one size fits all.
The more the professional type helmet, there's more flexibility that's added to accommodate for round versus oval versus long oval versus flat versus, and there's a lot that goes into it. We have a pretty good way of reading the head shape.
Yeah. And also that
everybody's
different safety. I mean, if you have a helmet that's just bobbling around your head, that thing's not going to protect you very well in an impact. So that's really important.
Especially if you get into a harness device, if your helmet is too loose and you do for one instant or another have a collision where you engage the harness device and your helmet is too loose, you will then have a second collision where your base gets in front of the helmet, and that's not enjoyable. Especially when you assumed you were protected and then now you have a bloody nose and a bruised face. Yeah. So helmet fitment is very important. It's definitely, it's anything, any clothing item, I would say, I would consider it something you should try on. So it's definitely helpful there.
We can, after this Mark 9, we can consult with you, get you an idea of what's a good fit. Essentially, I guess in a nutshell, you want a nice firm fit on your cheeks. You don't want this thing, not making contact. That's pretty important. And across the top of the forehead, obviously, if you put it on and it's giving you a headache in 10 seconds, then you can go to the other side.
If you would consider the fit of your helmet comfortable, I would tell you it's a little loose. From experience.
And it'll break in a bit over time. Are there any other questions on helmets, I guess, before we move to the next thing?
Anything, Stan, we should touch on?
Nope, you guys have done a good job.
Great.
So,
are doing a good job.
Thank you. So with shoes and gloves, I mean, shoes is not necessarily an exact requirement. It's more of a preference. I'll take these ones because they're impactful.
Very bright. So we have kangaroo on it too.
Yeah, and dead Smurfs. So Smurf skin. So a lot of these shoes will be professional type or sport shoes. So there used to be a company that a lot of you are probably familiar with, Polizei. They made a sports style shoe that's non-Nomex. The best advantage was it was like a sneaker, but it did have a little heel so you could play around with the pedals a little bit. Any of the other shoes, these are not going to be a requirement for regular driving. The higher up you get, they will require it because they are Nomex, they are FIA or SFI rated. Most of them are equal. So that's a fire requirement, which is nice if the pedal box decides to catch fire. A lot of the time with them, you'll see a lot of gussied-up features. It really depends what you're into, what you're trying to do with it. Ultimately, they give you a narrower foot profile, a little bit easier articulation of your wheel, and helps with just driving technique. It helps you acknowledge some progression in your driving style eventually, but you will not need to worry about this. If you came here and said, I'm doing my first track day, I wouldn't even talk about shoes.
Yeah.
I would probably say they're there.
but you know.
It's once you notice, like a lot of folks, I would say, you know, start driving a Nike or just athletic sneaker like that. That's a good option. No boots, nothing heavy that you're gonna. You want to be able to feel the pressure of the pedals, but you don't, like Mark said, don't worry too much about that for your first time. It's when you might start finding, okay, I'm not getting everything I want. This is a little bit more of a street driving shoe. So again, rolled heel is an important feature, so you can just articulate the pedal. A lot of times they'll reinforce the outer part there. And yeah, just again, it's low profile, not going to get caught up in the pedals at all.
Yeah, snowboard boots, anything like that. Just definitely not Timberlands. Yeah, leave the logger heel up at the leg pedals.
Gloves, I would also say are a nice add-on. You might get something like a glove prior to a shoe even. Pretty obvious, but you know you can see here very grippy palm on this. Gives you a very consistent grip on the wheel, the shift knob, really anything. Sweaty hands, that happens to a lot of people, all the adrenaline, this will really help that.
Another thing, it's not a requirement, but it's a recommendation. A red set of gloves, if you're, no offense, in a point-by situation where you're learning and someone's coming up behind you, you can be seen a lot better with a red hand. So that'll typically, or that one, yeah, if you're into that. So that's another advantage of that. They don't, it's not a requirement. You will see though, if you've got a suede wheel car, you'll get a better grip out of a glove rather than a bare hand. So if you have a leather steering wheel, you typically are fine with a bare hand. Suede, you're a little better grip with a suede palm. This one too, compared to what Brady just showed, is what they call externally stitched. So
we'll be right back. Lunchtime soon. Be right back.
Just jump in one sec. One of the gloves, honestly, I highly recommend them. And it's for a very unpredictable reason. When you're actually checking the tire pressures, which you probably be instructed to do at the track from your instructors, the air coming out from your tires after you get on track is really hot. It will actually burn you. So keep your gloves on when you take your caps off. And when you're feeding down the pressure or adding more,
very good point. And these are fire retardant. That's an advantage. The external stitch was basically that unlike a traditional glove where they're sewn inside of a leather glove, they're sewn on the outside, so when you grip the wheel, you don't actually feel the seam on your finger. So after a lot of hand moving motion, I should say, it's just a more affirmative finger inside. That's back there. So that's a good part of those. I think that's pretty much the extent of gloves. I mean, it's a very straightforward thing, gauntlet, shorthand, a couple different types. So I think I'll just go into seats then. Anybody have any questions on gloves and shoes and things? Yep. I'll kind of get into that with seats and all. Yeah. Anybody? Yep.
How much are a pair of gloves up there?
They start about $70 or so for a kind of an entry level pair. The Wiki Sport, E8 or so. We do offer a 5% PCA discount too, so anything we sell at HMS is always discounted with that if you just let us know. We do have an HMS pair of gloves, so that's a lot more affordable, but they're kind of limited and they're a little cumbersome, so they're not as good. I would say if you're going to get into gloves, figure about $90 to $100 for a good set.
So I think it may be for today only. I think you guys are offering 10%. I don't want anybody to have to make 2 trips.
Yeah. So seats, very big conversation because a lot of the later model cars are becoming very hard to modify. 991s, 981, 918, any of those cars. Anyone, there's a case of Hill admit they're getting harder to change over because of airbags and sensors and a lot of modules that are hidden in seats. Porsche has never been good with allowing for a pass-through type headrest or adjustable headrest, which prevents pretty much any stock seat of that type to be used with a shoulder or 6-point seatbelt. So that's sort of a restriction of the car that would require then, and you've probably seen a lot of track prep Porsche with seats, belts, and a harness because you sort of need all 3 to do this or this correctly with this.
So it's great in a car where you can use the factory seat like a BMW E46, E36 per se, because it's not ideal, but you can use a seatbelt safely and then maybe gain Hans compatibility with the stock seat. But most Porsche products, they don't net themselves to that. So seats, you would pretty much be in the bracketry sector looking for a floor plate, side plate, potentially a slider into a fixed back seat. So it's kind of evolved to accommodate a little bit shoulder belt. And that's usually more why we see people looking for seats, is to accommodate cost compatibility and a little bit safer restraint system. A lot of folks who have GT3 RS or fixed bucket carbon seats, or put those seats in anything else, have really done themselves a good service, because that's a really great seat for that car, for rat leather, those types of things, but they're not cheap, so it gets expensive quick to do a seat alteration correctly. Yeah.
It's required.
What's required for it? Equal restraint, typically. So if you have a factory seat, you can use that. I guess the ultimate point I was trying to make was that the factory seat typically withholds you from using an over-the-shoulder multi-point harness. So in a situation where you see the factory 3-point and the lack of a bolster on track becoming a problem, you start to have to think about the seat, the belt, and the harness at the same time. So it's a big step to then come beyond that. But it wouldn't be required. But typically, for PCA or restraint, if you do put a race seat in the driver's side, you would be required to do that on the passenger side.
Right.
As well as if you did a 6-point harness on the driver's side, they would. It doesn't have to be the same exact system. It would have to be the same amount of points. So that's it.
I'll jump in.
Okay, thank you.
So I would say, starting out, I wouldn't even think about this stuff right now. When you get to the point that you're having a hard time staying in your seat, then you kind of know, hey, I want to go to the next level. And you'll start to progress where you're actually wedging yourself into the seat and, using a lot of muscles that you may not use in that way to just stay in there. And you're kind of moving up, you're moving up the ladder in terms of ability. And you'll kind of know, that. But for now, I wouldn't even think about it to get started. It's something down the road.
Yeah. So the Simpson, as you may be aware, has come up with a hybrid Hans device for basal skull fracture prevention. And you can actually rent them and they'll ship them to you FedEx, not Simpson, but the Motorsport Safety Foundation for $100 with like these types of events. No seat application, use a regular 3-point seat belt. I mean, obviously the tracking the risk is low, but we all know that skull fractures often occur at low speeds.
It's my understanding that that device has not been tested at a 3-point seat belt. So it's been tested over the shoulder, but it's ideally better than nothing. I'll say that. Those types of devices are best suited with an over-the-shoulder belt entirely. So,
well, the hybrid device they specifically advertised says that it's been tested on 3-point seat belts. It's specifically there's the hybrid name is used for different models, with different Simpson has a strength devices, but the one they're talking about specifically they claim is tested with 3-point seat belts. Right.
So in that situation, it's.
But I mean, they're like $1,000. You can
The struggle with that device too, though, is you're using your body to restrain your body, where you have to strap the device to your back.
Correct.
So you do, while allowing yourself to restrain your head, you do put that force through your torso. We've always advocated here for a Hans device.
Yeah.
Now Shrove has a flex device also. Both of those systems would advocate the same result without having to put that through your body, because then with the yoke coming forward and the belts over your shoulder, as your head would come forward, you're not stopping that motion. It's the belt system ends up lifting. So while it's definitely a better option than without, I think that does do a lot for you.
And I also, this is the other question, if you have any input into this, I'm not quite sure why, in some ways, why it even exists in the sense that you have an airbag system. So I'm not sure exactly.
It's more so in a situation where you do have a 6-point or 4-point harness. If you have a dual over-the-shoulder system where your body can't move forward far enough, that's when now you then get a situation where while your torso is restrained, your head is in motion. That's where the harness device comes in.
Right, and that's what I'm trying to understand is I'm not necessarily advocating for this hybrid device. I'm just saying I'm not sure. It seems like you need to go 100% with a fully restrained system, no airbag, or just stick with the factory. And I don't know if you have an opinion with the street point available.
This brings us to the gray area now, which is our favorite situation where I would like a track car and I would like a street car, and they don't sit necessarily at the same table. So while having an airbag is definitely going to be part of the situation, it brings up another situation that I would argue is unique to every single collision that could potentially happen. So a lot of these components are designed entirely to be track set up and not in lieu of an airbag. So it is a gray area of whether or not that's appropriate to that. Did you have something?
Yeah, I'm looking at a little bit, hopefully not even longer, it's even more. If you've got a street and track car, you have, if it's a street car, and you've got it registered on the street, you drive on the street, you have to have the street and track. The multi-point harnesses are not streetable from the DOT's point of view. And not part of the argument is, if they have to release you, they know how to reach in and pop a 3-point belt. They may not realize how to release a race harness. So the driver on the street needs street harness. PCA does not mandate for DE any particular set of things, unlike club racing. The guidelines, if you put stuff into the car, have to meet the club racing requirements. But you can have a race seat with harnesses and a Hans. If you're going to put 5- and 6-point harnesses in, it has to be with a properly made seat with factory holes for the sub belt and so on. PCA does not mandate rollover protection, supplemental rollover protection, when you're using seats and harnesses. It's something to think about. It's recommended. Something to think about because if you've got a set of harnesses on, if you're fastened to the seat so that you're not going to be like this in an accident. If the roof collapses, it doesn't have to collapse very far before there's contact. So I highly recommend that you have either a half cage or some kind of a rollover hoop or a full cage in the car if you're going to put seats and harnesses in. Not required, but definitely recommended. If you have questions when you get to the point of getting a tech inspection done or getting the car and saying, what do I need to do? Check with Justin Becker, our chief scrutineer, check with me, and we'll let you know what the requirement is and the recommendation.
So, I don't know if that sort of fits.
It just seems to me you need to do all
Yes.
I
would say yes. I would say, and no qualms to anyone who might be here, who's been here, and we've had this conversation, but to have your cake and eat it too, especially a later model car, is hard to do now. And that's why I was saying, sort of, if you're here and you're here, you're probably here also. And just to clarify a little bit, what Stan said, they sure does make the only DOT compliant FIA multi-point harness.
Do they? Okay, all right.
Behind your head, ironically. That does have a press release seatbelt, which would help them with the first responders. So
That's the 4-point?
That's a 4-point.
Yeah, I ran those in an M5 for about 3 years when I was a dual purpose car. The 4-point's pretty sweet. But to his point earlier, Porsche doesn't make it easy to use something like that because of the design of the seats. BMW could do it.
You could use a system of that type if you still went with seats in the cage. But that being said, too, seats in the cage is another sort of reality questionnaire.
So
if you're going to use all of these systems, it's best suited to. You will make a concession on the street. I think is the simplest way to say it.
So the only 4-point systems that PCA allows are Schroff, only for the specific model and year of car that Schroff system is made for. And there is now 1 or 2 Porsche models, I forget what years and exact models, but I believe I put it on the website, that do have a 4-point system.
It is not, to clarify, it's not a quick fit, but it is a 4-point specific for the 991, 981, and 918. It's a 4-point harness that is not FIA certified, but is DOT compliant, and it is specific to those cars in that allowed as a 4-point to comply with PCA.
So if you buy a 4-point Schroff and put it in a car that it isn't made for, you won't get on the track.
And to elaborate even further, that 4-point belt can be created into a system, which would then solve most of those issues. So I guess moving forward then, now that we've talked about seats and belts, we will need somewhere to mount the shoulder belt, which is one of the biggest issues in a lot of two-door applications, especially one where the back seat angle is so severe. So anytime you're going to change the seats out and the harnesses, and most of the time you'll see a track setup or a track car that will have seats, and will have belts, and it will have some sort of aft cage or brake cross truss bars or a harness bar. So those 3 are available. Again, to Stan's point, the ideal situation would be a full roof because you've got roof protection as well. Typically with any of those, again, just to elaborate, if your first DE is still in front of you, disregard most of what I'm saying here because you don't need to worry about a lot of that. This is just for everything. The roll bar basically will give you overhead protection and the rollover event. It does help with chassis stiffness from a driving standpoint, but it'll also give you somewhere to mount the shoulder belts to it. All those belts that are on the wall there, you can see are sort of wrapped on the shoulder portion to the mount display. So most of the time you'll see a belt attached to the harness bar behind the seat. That's the simplest way to do it. So with those systems, you then got a seat, a roll cage, and a belt, which would allow you then to use a harness device or flex device or there's a bunch of other headed neck restraint systems. So those would attach. This is where the harness post comes in on your helmet. So you have
what's that
here? Yeah. Thanks. So basically, once you've got your over-shoulder belts, you could potentially get into what is called a harness device. So I don't know if any of you guys, I'm sure most of you guys have seen this, but this is a harness device. So with this system here, that would attach to the helmet via a tether. What this does, this is where, what's the medium? The pumpkin head and fat neck. I don't think I can get it off. So the over-the-shoulder belt would come across your shoulder as normal, but over the harness device, that would hold this unit to your body. So the difference between over-the-shoulder harness or a flex or another sort of yoke-type harness device, if you will, is by design, your tether would come from the rear here attached to the helmet. So in a collision situation, as your head is moving forward and your body is withheld, accommodating for some stretch, you're just going to push this into your chest slightly, and the belts are going to hold most of it back. So as your head comes forward, your belt is holding this unit back. With the hybrid style, it is actually just strapping to your torso as your head would come forward. So even with an over-the-shoulder belt, it's going to help some, but ultimately this is usually the simplest way to achieve sort of the same protection. But what this does is helps when your head wanting to do this so far that your neck doesn't want to. And that's when you have problems with the basal skull fracture or neck fracture. This system is a lot further beyond than the first track day, especially if you don't have this and this, because that is limited unless using the Simpson hybrid style lens. Ultimately, that's a safety progression that's beyond the first DE. A lot of experienced drivers here will probably say definitely have something like this. It's definitely a helpful tool. It's kind of awkward at first, but I feel like after a while, once you get used to it, it feels awkward to not have it.
Yep.
And I got a lot of nods from the crowd. So that's another system there that we see quite a bit. But again, that's sort of in the trifecta of seats, belts, and harness, which is a very big jump over a stock car. But a leap in safety for sure. As it was said earlier, fire extinguisher is recommended, but it's not required. The bracketry, usually we see a bracket from brake cross and mounts to the front of the passenger seat, so you don't have to build the car up or anything like that. It attaches sort of to the actual fire extinguisher, and it's nice if, who knows, brake fluid has a tendency to boil over if you're not prepared for it, things like that. Just a recommendation, not required. Any questions on any of the stuff I just ran through? And I ran through a lot of stuff.
So there's one question from the end of the exact price of that AR 10 for you helmet.
It's $329.99.
Cool.
That's it.
So let's thank these guys again.
As Stan said, anything we sell today, we do it for 10% off. If you guys have any questions on margaritas up front, you do just get pizza, so if you guys are wrapped up or whatever, there'll be some food. That's fine. Don't rush.
Shortly.
Don't rush. Don't eat it all.
So Peter's going to come up. We're winding down. We've kind of covered the last 5 slides already, so Peter's going to take us home, I think. He's been in DE since the 90s, instructor since 04, chief instructor 09 to 11, and he's core to our novice development program, so we'll be seeing him and Ed again in the training. So Peter, please come up and take us through.
Hi, everyone. So I was going to take you through what the whole sequence of events is to give you an idea of what you need to do and what's going to happen. Of course, you've got to first decide that you're going to attend the event, and then you've got to register. And depending on which region of the Porsche Club is running the event, you go to a different website. When you follow the website, you'll be led to a page where you can register, sign your name, and all this stuff. I have a couple of words of advice. Sign up early, because if you're a novice, you need an instructor. And instructors tend to have the bad habit of signing up late. And so you might be put on the wait list and have to wait a while and be in uncertainty. So if you're going to do it, sign up early. The other piece of advice is you're not really registered until you're paying. If you go on this website and type your name in and all that stuff, you think you're registered, but you're not until you actually give it your credit card information. So do it early and pay early. And do this early and you'll get into the event. Sometimes people are turned away, not often, but sometimes. As has been talked about, you do need a helmet. To participate in that, you want to get that early. Your car has to be checked. There's a list of places where it can be done. Some charge, some don't. There's no way to know how much they're going to charge, so until you talk to them. So it has to be an approved instructor, approved site that has been checked out by the club, so that we know that they'll do the inspections right and that they're familiar with the typical type of cars, Porsches, that they're looking to see. So they put in this slide, so clothing, food, and drink. So you need to drive, get on the track, you're going to need some a long shirt, even though it's going to be summer, and you need long pants. Typically, you want to bring stuff with natural fibers, okay? So cotton, that sort of thing. Let's see, you're going to want, well, we talked about shoes. You're going to want shoes that are comfortable and non-slip, and so you don't slide. That's pretty obvious. Sneakers are good. You can go to the driving shoes if you need to. The other thing to remember is that you're going to be doing this in the summertime. Typically, it's hot, and this is a physical activity. So you want to bring plenty of water, in particular, make sure you're hydrated and your brain's working. Okay, you don't want to eat a steak dinner for lunch when you're at the track. You want to have light food. Eat the steak dinner when you go back to the hotel or wherever you're going to have the social. It puts it here. There'll be once you're registered and once you're accepted into the event, about a week or so before the event, you're going to get an email with all the information you're going to need. You know, what time you can go to the place, where are the hotels nearby, all the requirements for the event will be in this packet. It'll be emailed to you. You'll also have the meeting minutes that you spent longer meet drivers meetings. That'll all be in there. So you're going to get this big email with all this stuff in it. So you should be at that point well informed and able to deal with the event. So on the day of the event, you're going to come, you're going to presumably come around 7 o'clock when it opens. As was mentioned earlier, you want to do it a little bit early, so you have time to get in. You're going to find it, you're going to at the entrance to the track, they're going to require you to sign the track waiver. We're kind of talking about waivers before. Then you're going to drive past there, you're going to go to the paddock or wherever everybody's hanging out. It'll be obvious once you first got here. And there'll be a registration place where you need to sign the club's waiver and check in so that they know that you're there. Okay? Then your next job is to take all the loose junk out of your car and out of your trunk so it doesn't fly around as you go around the corners. Put it somewhere. Lots of people will bring one of those blue tarps, put their stuff on the ground, if there's no garage, and put their stuff on the ground, cover up if there's pain. You might want to consider that. So you're going to get all the stuff out of your car, and then there'll be a line, so-called tech line somewhere, where the people will do the on-track inspection. And they're going to be checking, make sure you get good brakes. Presumably you do, you just have inspection. But make sure that there's nothing loose in your car, check your helmet. There's a bunch of things that they do. That happens fairly quickly. But you want to get in that line fairly early because everybody else is going to be wanting to do the same thing. You're going to check to make sure your tires are bolted.
So take your helmet in the car with you when you go into the check tag line. You're going to stick on your helmet and take the checklist you got from the pre-tech that you did that 2 weeks earlier. Have those, make sure you have those 2 things in the car and all the junk out.
So what's going to happen is then there's going to be the driver's meeting. We already discussed that a bit. Then there's going to be, you're going to meet your instructor. Now your instructor is supposed to contact you before the event, but they should definitely contact you before you go driving. You're going to talk to them, give them some idea of your experience, your background, because what they're looking for is kind of understand you. Okay, so they know how to approach you, what your learning style might be, what you know about. You know, I'm just as different than an engineer. All right, so this kind of information will help them to work with you better. Then let's see. So then you're basically, if you've never done this before, or you haven't instructed, they're probably the first one of these. They're going to take you out and you drive around. I'll show you what you're going to be working on, where they want you to put the car, when they want you to turn, and so forth. Then it'll be your turn. The thing, there will be, the drivers are grouped by the level of experience, not by the power of the car or anything like the capability of the car. The reason is that you want to be working and driving with people that like ability, so it's safer. Okay? You don't want some hot shoe coming down and blasting through the slower drivers and causing them all kinds of concern. So you'll be grouped with people with likability, and you'll have 4 sessions typically on the track, 20 to 30 minutes each time, each day. Oh, and the other thing that hasn't been mentioned is work assignments. So depending on what's needed, you'll have some sessions where you have to do some work. What's work? You might have to be in track out where you let cars out on command. You might have to, I'm drawing a blank. Oh yeah, pit out. That's pit out. You might be called to work as a tech line, or control or staging. Staging is where we line up the cars prior to a run group and get them all ready to go and then signal them out. So you'll get, you may or may not get a work assignment. That'll all be announced at the meeting, and so you go about it. And they're fairly easy things to do, but it just helps the event to everybody cooperate and make the event work better. Let's see. So let's just talk about the run groups. You've heard mention of this before. The run groups are to go. Basically, when you're the first time you're there, you're classified as green if you have no experience on the track. Okay, you'll have an instructor. It's part of the deal. It's already paid for. And they'll guide you and help you as you learn. Then we progress to yellow, which are people who still have instructors, but they have a little bit more experience. They go a little faster. And so forth. And the red run groups are the instructors. Now, the way this works is that it's a skill-based progression from one run group to the next. And so when you have an instructor, he or she might recommend that you're ready for the next run group, and you would be checked out, and there's a form that you fill out. But you have to fulfill a certain set of skills. It's not like you come and say, well, you're my buddy, I'll let you go in the advanced drivers group and have fun. It doesn't work that way, it's not safe. So you'll hear a lot about this. Okay, so it says instructors are assigned to all the green and yellow groups. So the chief instructors, they just don't randomly assign instructors to students. There's a lot of thought that goes into it. They may match people with similar cars. They may match people with dispositions if they know the people that are likely to get along. There's a bunch of criteria that they use. Yeah.
The 20 minutes, 20 minutes you have on the track in the beginning, the instructor is with you all the time on the track?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so the question, so the instructor's with you the whole time. Whenever you're on the track and you have an instructor, he or she is with you. There are some exceptions to that, but that's what you should assume. Okay? So that way you have constant feedback and you can help, they can help you. You'll have an instructor, you'll be assigned an instructor. You should meet them before you go out. They should contact you before the event. They can talk. They will. Yeah.
They will. Contact you before the event.
They will. and you get to know them. You'll have them for the whole 3 days of the event, generally speaking. Okay, so you'll have the same person. They'll work with you. They'll impart to you some of the knowledge that they have. If you come to subsequent events, you'll probably and should get a different instructor because each person has something more to add. They can give you some more details and some more insight that they have that the other person may not have been able to give you. So you want to really get as many of them as you can because they all have some extra information, extra stuff to give you. So it says on the slide that you recommend that you take a ride with the instructor. Sometimes they'll want you to do that because they're trying to get you to do this, and it's just not clicking. So they may take the car out and drive their car and drive the way they want you to do it. And so taking a ride with them and seeing what they can do at a slightly higher pace can be a good thing. So the nice thing about this whole thing is that it's basically self-paced, learning and skill development. One of the things people like about this whole activity is that it's me and me learning something and gaining skill. A lot of it is basically what you can do. Learn by yourself. With input from others. There is plenty of stuff, places to get information from. And so, depending on how much time and how much enthusiasm you have, you can spend your whole life doing this. you can talk to people. One thing I recommend is that once you've been on the track, on a particular track for a few sessions, is go out to a corner and watch how a more advanced run group is approaching you. So you can walk out there and look at what's going on. Talk to people. There's plenty of expertise there, but take it all with a grain of salt. Because sometimes what people say is not necessarily yes. It's kind of like the internet, right? There's a lot of information there that someone's going to bias. So you can ride with the instructors that I mentioned. There's our website, there's other publications, there's all kinds of things. And I'll let you read them, but there's books. You can spend your whole life literally as deeply as you want. Some of us have. So, any questions or thoughts? No.
Numbers, do we get our numbers for the year so we can have files?
Yeah, once you get a number, they use this I do. So I use the same numbers.
Yeah, for NCR and NER, if you're assigned a number, it will be good. However, if you go to like an NJR event, that number may be taken like, yeah. So,
you can buy sets of numbers.
Yeah. You pick a number when you register.
When you register, that's where you'll pick it up.
And you work with me in case you pick a number somebody already has.
Scan can be bought, okay? Yeah, you'll see numbers on eBay, go for it.
Yep. Can we take them before it comes?
Yes, in fact, to put on your numbers, you can use blue painter's tape, as long as you can make out roughly, what they are. I was smart. I have a college education. I chose number 111. Okay? Right, 3 pieces of painter's tape. You
know the guy.
Yeah.
And just a reminder, we do require numbers in the back of the car this year.
Okay. Yes, we do require an NCR, NER, 911. 911, I think is taken.
Somebody else?
Yeah, just another question about the seat time. Obviously a ton of events over 6 months. Kind of, what's a good kind of cadence or kind of recommend? Is it minimum? Like, really want to get the most out of it? 2, 3 events, 4 events?
Yes.
Yeah,
it's always better, sure.
Let me answer your question. The question is, are there a recommended number of events? And the response is, you may enter the season thinking, I'm only going to do 2 events this year. You tell me if that's the case after your first event. All right? It's typically budget and time limited. It isn't it the standard beat and the others have said. Yes, ma'am.
Can you go back and talk about the numbers on the back of your car?
Yes, absolutely. This is really easy. All regions will require these 4-inch large numbers on the side of your car.
Yeah, we get the sides.
Okay. The back, NER and NJR require 2-inch numbers at least on the back. NJR specifically, numbers on the front as well. Okay?
When did they do
Same
that?
2 or 3-inch numbers. What?
When did they do that?
Last year.
On the back, back.
Oh, you can't do
Yeah,
that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And
And just get them at Home Depot for $1 a piece, whatever they are.
And you just put them in
them right.
Yeah, just put them right
in
there.
Yeah.
Reflected house numbers work nicely, or boat registration numbers. You can put them on the glass, and they will come off without damaging anything.
There are folks who actually just print their numbers on a sheet of 8.5 by 11 paper, and they tape it into the inside of the glass. It works.
Yeah.
I mean,
Really
it
works.
works as well.
Thank you, Peter.
All right, I'm going to make this really quick. I've got 4 slides I'm not going to present because they're all the schedules I've talked about. Okay? So, for NER events, go to Porsche.net and you will see NNJRs, NERs, NCRs events there. Or go to the NCR website, okay, ncr-pca.org, .org, okay, and the NCR sites, events are there. And NNJR, you can go to the NNJR, the NER, it's a very big, close, incestuous family. Right? I was going to talk to you in my last slide about vintage days. but I've already talked about that. We'd love to see some of you there after you get signed off solo. If you're not signed off solo, still want to do it, contact Ken Young, who I think is left, and one myself.
He's
And I
up
want
front.
to thank all of you. Are there any follow-up questions? There is no quiz at the end of this, by the way. Okay? But I know it's a lot of information, a lot of great, kind of, oh my gosh, where do I go from here? And I will tell you, you can reach out to anyone on the team. You feel comfortable, for example, Kristen, come on up. Kristen is social, Judy is social, Cam is social. You're still a part of the core team. Kristen is an instructor. Okay, you've been through our instructor development program and graduated. You know that since I was here. But if you're more comfortable talking to me, Kristen, or one of the other folks, feel free. And there's no stupid question. All right? If you're sitting there going, what did they mean by this? Reach out to us. We'd love to help you. Okay? So welcome to NER. Look forward to seeing you at the track. We're going to kill the broadcast, I think, Sterling. So is there?
Bye.
Yeah, you're live. I want to thank you, Sterling. Thank you so much. Okay. Again. Yeah, I know. Again. If you are a novice driver, email trackchair@porschenet.com. Sterling's already put that up. Trackchair@porschenet.com. You will be picked as one of the 3, hopefully, to get a free day at the NER event. And with that, thank you guys for joining me on the web. You've been great. Hope I answered all your questions. The group did. And Sterling, I guess you can kill it now.
Yep. Thanks, everybody.
If you would like